Hello, hello, hello. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back once again. Zoo. कैसे हो यार, कैसे हो सारे कैसे हो? ब्रेव पे चलो। पूमा का भी हो गया ना, सैटरडे को गेम्स है अब। क्या नाम है? ये एलजीएस। एक्चुअली अपन ट्विच पे जाने वाले हैं एएलजीएस के लिए। एएलजीएस यहाँ पे लोड होता रहता, मजा नहीं आता।
Très bien. Très bien.
My French is awful. All I remember
अबे
is trying to
38
do my
minutes
first
बाकी
country
है।
where I lost in Paris is Je m'appelle sit. And shout out to Penguin because he's the one that teach me that one. So you know what? How about we do this? How about you test our French? How would I say I love EW6? EWC 2026, I guess. Oh man. You know what? Let's
We have half an hour left, guys. We have half an hour left. तो ठीक है भाई, तो आधे घंटे तक अपन एफसी देख लेते। एफसी भी क्या ही देखेंगे, वालो देख लेंगे।
It does at least mean that
एनआरजी का गेम देख लेते हैं, ब्रॉक की ओडिन भाई। और क्या,
have an opportunity to try and fight this one.
Watching Brock की ओडिन।
Low on HP, Marder trying to ult to shut somebody down. He's at least buying additional time, and he does get rid of Mini. Brings things back into a 4v4 scenario. And make sure he's at least healthy for this fight. The Molotov buys them extra time. In fact, Scuba has put another on the body pile for the mates. They are running out of time to get back in here, and Marder with another kill in this round. In fact, he's looking to take over.
माड़ा पागल हो गया है, दिलदानी माड़ा। मेरा सिद्धू मुसाड़ा।
The action. The attack side respond immediately. Look to extend that scoreline even further. And those singular rounds, those blips on the radar, well, that's what they look like. All they are blips. As mates are still yet to string any rounds together.
मैं कहा इस 40 मिनट जल्दी आ गया हूँ एलजीएस के लिए। जो भी मेरे को पूछ रहे हैं, आप वालो देख रहे हो एलजीएस का टाइटल डाल के।
So, I can't hear the crowd. Wait, what?
This is what we're talking about, though. This was the sort of thing where it's like, if you can silence that crowd,
Standing ahead.
it starts to build up the confidence of NRG. The defensive side, again, desperately needing a response, but already a few pieces missing from their puzzle in this one.
Let's see if they can find those pieces, put them together for mates. Depot starting to show up, the rifle in his hands doing work, and it looks like they'll keep the trades in a decent position, ready for this TP up around the back. They might be worried that he's crossed, but Kiko seems to be trained in. He knows exactly what's at play, but he wasn't ready for Starzo. Sneaking his way through short, leaving Brock alone, and
5-3 इमेट बाहर हो रही है। By the way, Heretics is out of the tournament, मैंने सुना। Heretics is out of the tournament। हेलो मोबाइल का वेगा पब्लिश्ड है, मतलब 100% कंफर्म है। देखो अनाउंसमेंट आ गया। किधर आया मेरे को बताना। आई एम सॉरी, मैं थोड़ा सा कुछ S8UL के ग्रुप पे चेक कर रहा था।
NRG seem to have had the response almost every time. That was a big one though. Like having a round.
मेरे को बताना कहाँ पे आया है। I also check क्योंकि मेरे को नहीं आइडिया है।
Coming out on top is definitely going to help them out quite a bit. And the fact is, in recent form, it seems like both these teams have been better in the second half. The defensive rounds coming up for the side of NRG when they played against KC, and then on the other side of things, it was the attack rounds coming up for mates.
said about silence in the crowd, Tom. It didn't last very long. They're right back, rubbing away in the background. The flags are flying high yet again, and that's the big difference, I have to say.
Maddo said it, not me. Like, don't throw that on me.
That's the thing, though. For NRG, you know, I think back to Paris and back to Champs, there were definitely, it was definitely clearly a crowd that wasn't rooting for them. I will say, I don't think it was quite as in your face as what we're seeing here.
Well, Mates and KC weren't there. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the ones that really have the dedication. At least in Valorant. We'll see
इसमें
tomorrow.
वालों मोबाइल भी
Vitality
लिखा
will be
हुआ है.
playing. If they can get this sort of crowd going, I'll be interested. Ethan already under a little bit of pressure early on. Of course, this was
4 HP हो गया Ethan, 3 HP.
maybe a little bit wary that the mates might be starting to awaken. And Mini has been the man to watch, and you can see
हाँ,
he's not really
wall bang में खा गया.
Solid connection to open things up. Starzo might have been traded out a little bit low, but down to 17 HP. The man advantage sticks now with the defense for how long? Kiko's being a menace. And the faster hits, picking them off as they cross B. It's something that they'll be aware of on the side of
मैं
General.
पता है रेस्ट कर लेता हूँ.
The time ticks away, and when pressure's put on, they might start to.
मैं आपको पोस्टर सेंड कर दिया डिस्कॉर्ड पे देखता हूँ
These
रुको.
moves, maybe Kiko's part of this push, but
फोन पे डिस्कॉर्ड पे देखता हूँ.
he's the reserves. They're going to use a wall to cross, but still one tucked in that corner. Starzo 17 HP, and they haven't cleared the wall got in his way, but man, it doesn't seem to work in the favor of NRG. Not bad to bait Starzo out into that swing. 5v3, and he goes looking.
time though. Oh, okay, never mind. Ethan on 3 HP has managed to find another. This is starting to get a little bit wary. This is looking like a done deal. Ethan's managed to find another, but
The thing is,
taking away and Martin. Back on the board, back on the
वो Tencent की तरफ से आया है.
Well, even after the pause,
पोस्टर देखा मैंने वो Tencent की तरफ से. तो चाइना में तो रिलीज थी है ना.
diminish that lead.
The problem is global release का क्या सीन? चाइना में तो इट इज वर्किंग. डेली का 10 मिलियन का प्ले टाइम है. भाई बेल बजी आता हूँ मैं. We back. Five four.
Leaving it down to just one, and he's in the smoke as well.
आगे कर दिया. शीशी कर दिया पूरा.
It seemed like that round genuinely was a done deal. I thought that we'd see the ultimate come through, but maybe just feeling like they were able to close it out without a bit of a gamble taken. And well, I guess at least Brock will have it for the next round, but ultimately, I'm not sure if that was worth it.
Quite possibly not. No, I think that's going to be heavily debated after for about 2 seconds. 5-5 scoreline.
A वर्सेस D टाइम क्या दिया हुआ है? 8:30 भाई 9 बज तो गया है और भी 20 मिनट बोल रहा है अभी। लगा लो ही देखते हैं तब तक। स्ट्रीम चालू कर ही दिया था। मैं आधे घंटे बाद ही आता नहीं था।
NRG seeing the wind exit their sails. They pump the brakes, they look for a slower round, but this time the mates aren't sitting back passive on P, instead looking for the pick just outside. Mini gets it and gets out, and a clean advantage to play with on the defense.
I think it was a few rounds ago. We saw the pause taken by NRG. We saw Marder even earlier than that saying that I don't hear the crowd anymore, and ever since then it started to go against them. And with 30 seconds left, they now go walking into what is the lesser stacked site. It's only going to be one man defending it. The kill trip has been removed, and they will get the site for free. Bebo was just playing for that kill trip up in the heavens. Minido's a little bit ahead of the play, and in fact, maybe going to try and make a move. They are. They're going to move ahead of it. Hunter's Fury sets him up. No Piranhas come in. NRG haven't been able to get the spike down. They just have to run for the hills. That's 6 for mates already guaranteed.
You rarely ever
एमेट ने धागे खोल दिए हैं.
Denied the plant that late, where they are pushed back, allowed to fall back to the mains, to flee the site with 3. Gentlemates went from being deactivated, from losing so many of these first couple rounds, from us wondering how long will the crowd keep on cheering. If NRG keep on finding rounds, well, this has very much changed as time has gone on. Mates with full command over this 5 of the last 6. And at least neck and neck, that chance to lead at the half now looking like a likelihood.
That Hunter's Fury is still available for
धागे खोल दिए भाई एनर्जी के.
Surprised if we see it used in that execution, but at least for now it's patient. I also see Mini with that overdrive, and in the retakes that has been a menace. In fact, again, it's not a retake, it's a pre-take. They're going ahead of the curve once again. This time the spike at least has been planted, but well, it doesn't
फिर धागे खोल दिए.
3 players remaining already for the side of NRG, but Kiko's still fighting back. A couple of low players, Kiko does his best, but now Brock is all that remains. 17 HP, nice first shot, and a player tag low. A shock dart that won't quite kill anybody off, and the spike is already...
अरे! ब्रॉक ने निकाल ही लिया था.
Save the day from a mass deficit. Well, mates now have the lead.
It came down to the wire, but Gentlemates, they get it done across the line by 2 at the halftime. And for NRG, that's gotta feel deflating. A 5-2 score line, a lot of success for this squad in those first couple of rounds, and everything that was working for them has been completely shut down by the mates. Mini as well, stepping up to the plate in a big way towards the end, leading by example, and you love to see this. The home crowd getting exactly what they wanted.
Nonetheless, I don't know if there's going to be a mass amount of them in the arena today, but let's go down to Ian with some NA fans.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Gentlemates getting off to a cracking start here. The fans absolutely loving it. We're talking a lot about the French fans, but this is EWC. It's a global event. We've got fans from all over the world showing up and showing out for the teams that they are supporting and backing here at the STC Arena. And we've got some American fans in the building.
Cloud9 के लौंडे हैं.
Straight in with a USA chant, and you can hear the boos in the background. What's your name?
Alex.
Alex, where are you from?
California, Los Angeles.
He's from California, and you are in hostile territory right now, of course. The French fans do not want you guys to win. Do you think you can bring this map back?
I don't know about this map, but, you know, we gotta try.
What about you? What's your name?
Nick.
Hey, Nick. You guys are obviously wearing Cloud9 jerseys, not NRG, but you're just supporting whichever American team is on stage, correct?
Yes, sir, of course.
So tell me how far you've traveled to be here and how does it feel to be in Paris at the Esports World Cup?
I traveled from SF, San Francisco and California. It was a long travel, but it's been worth it.
Have you got a message for the Gentle Mates fans right now?
We're coming back.
What about you?
This is going to be one hell of a second half.
I want to end this with some more boos. Can I get another USA chant, guys?
USA! 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 USA!
Love it. All right, let's get right back into map 1 and see where we go from here.
Well, Ian Chambers might be with them, but I'll tell you what, the fans most certainly are.
He wasn't with them. He was hiding his face. He's trying to get himself out of there, the coward. No, I can't blame him. We need to get those guys some security. That's a bold thing to do. A USA chant in the middle of the Gentlemates fans. But hey, you got to respect it. You got to respect it. The fact is, though, you know, in the early rounds, they probably felt quite confident. 6-2 in the lead, but sorry, 5-2. And then Mates got 5 in a row. Mini, Martin, and in fact the whole squad stepping up. And now onto the defense. This is, I would say, both teams' stronger half. And a lot of that, again, is going to be on Kiko. Those walkabouts, those aggressive pushes. But in this round, at least, pressure on Ethan.
Stunned to start. Certainly avoided what was a big danger with players grouped up and ready to blitz on in. In the end, Mates will just use this as a chance to take the orb and explore the rest of the map. A slow start. It did seem like they wanted to make it a bit more pacey towards that C site. Now they find it wide open. The pump fake has worked. Mini's just been spotted. I don't think he realized that he was seen, and they noticed him moving towards Garage now. Starting to put the pieces together, perhaps. The hit into the C site comes in with a man disadvantage for Mates. NRG more than content to play the retake.
Spike planted.
Post-plant hold. Clearly expected to be aggressive. I'm seeing Brog all the way back towards spawn, just watching for them to push up. Maybe worried about a pop flash that could be put into play. Even still, the paranoia hasn't really got them the space they wanted. In fact, Martin's managed to even things up. Waiting for Kiko to make his move. Instead, it's Marder to do the work. Give them that advantage back.
Oh, bhai.
Blind onto Starzo, and now
That one flash changed everything.
Seeming like an impossible clutch and a stellar retake from NRG. What was looking like a tough round for them ended up seeming quite easy.
And it could be important looking at that first half. So many of the rounds coming from the pistol, coming from the first 6 or 8 rounds. Early success for NRG when they're trailing. The utmost importance. Amada as well, finding so many of those picks. I think the defuse
Let's go, boys.
incredibly close to a run it back for NRG. And DD got the defuse as well, 2 away. Farming up those orbs in this round going to be fairly easy. I mean, worst case scenario, he gets 1 if he dies. So the buy round will carry a lot of weight to it. Weak buy for Mates, but they try to play this a bit more direct, and they've got a lot of space for their trouble. NRG, in fact, having to give up, use a lot of that utility on Ethan just to get him out, and somehow they lost Scuba? I was going to say they did a great job to not give anything away, and they lose what is an easy fight up in heaven.
That's one player down. Already the potential spams though, and Odin in the second.
बड़ चालू है इसकी तो.
Unless you're up against Brock, in which case you should be expecting it. Shot dart to the site. Won't find much, but the weaponry advantage is crazy. Nothing was.
Oh भाई, 2 मार दिया.
Clear out under with no problem. Prox again does well.
मारा भी like मैं तो 2 मार दूंगा, ये डिफ्यूज भी ले लूंगा.
No surprise. The retake ends up being quite
मारा को देना था ना, मारा को ही दिया.
now for NRG. They're back in the second half.
How are the games? Games are good.
Early half Warriors in that first half.
Interesting है, मजा आ रहा है. मैं तो आया एक्चुअली इसके लिए था, क्या बोलते हैं, एपेक्स के लिए था. पर एपेक्स आधा घंटा बाद है तो मैं बोला वैल्यू ही देख लेते थोड़ी देर. So that will be good for us.
You won't see it quite as much anymore, but Ethan Man, who has been
Brock having his order in the third round is good.
But Brock's the main big boy here.
अभी स्ट्रीम करना चाहिए. ये तो लास्ट गेम है भाई आज का लास्ट ही है शायद. Yes sir.
Going to be the biggest annoyance that you've played against.
अभी क्या स्ट्रीम करेगा?
Your angles, that's all I'll say. Definitely still quite a lot of.
रुक VLR पे देखने दो क्या हाल है. EFC, EWC का.
Saying that though, Marder in the corner, he's not going to be checked. That's as free as it can be.
कल करना. आज का लास्ट ही गेम है.
That's dangerous. You know there's a judge in that corner. And then the molly comes through
Thought
just
so.
afterwards. He's able to survive.
वैसा भी गेम रहेगा देख कि if you will see ना तो ये 2-0 एनआरजी है. पहला मैप खत्म है और अब एनआरजी दूसरा निकाल जाएगी. मैं बोल रहा हूँ ओडिन प्रोन गेम्स में आप एनआरजी को नहीं रख सकते हो. अरे हेवन तो प्लेग्राउंड है. ब्रॉक का अकेला ही मारता है. मारेगा देख. हाँ
Nice shot by Martin. Brock to the big danger we said, but
कुछ ज्यादा ही तारीफ कर गया मैं.
Phoenix ult for Martin looking very tempting.
ओ जी अच्छा खेल रही बे. किधर? मैं देखा ही नहीं. मैचेस ही नहीं देखा. मैं रेस्ट कर रहा था. पनोती.
The remaining players looking for retake
30
now.
seconds
Ethan's
left.
position, this
Fetch.
SMG is a danger. This fight is going to be important, and already Mini tagged desperately low. Martin getting aggressive, but it's expected for. He's 8-punched initially, but he still takes down Ethan. A third already, and then his teammate rebuilds his spell!
माँ खुद दिया माँ.
It looked like for a moment that would get dangerous.
गांड तोड़ दिया.
The Mini and Martin show.
2 सेकंड निकाले आज ओजी ने और क्वालिफाइड फॉर द फाइनल्स. लेट्स गो बे. The practice is needed. The practice.
Look at this.
And then tried to fight. That's ridiculous.
It's like he knew he was about to jump.
They tried to fight into the spawn, and with Mini being tagged so low, they had to give it up. That looked like a big danger because where else do you defend that spike from? And one shot from the side for Martin, it gave them an opportunity, but that was a crazy closeout by Mini. Around it, even though it was a 3v2, it was in danger. 2 players tagged low.
Yeah, it's a bonus as round. You have to remember that on their own.
देखना पड़ेगा रे. स्ट्रीम बंद करके 11 बजे के आसपास देखूंगा.
Ready for this one. Already a shutdown. And not a bad trade. Get rid of the ult. Counter used on the other side for Marder, but I don't think he's going to find anyone on his route towards the remaining attackers.
कॉर्नर्स में बैठे होंगे. जर्सी लुकिंग गुड. किसने भेजी? मैं तो इवन तेरे को आज सुबह वाली स्ट्रीम पे भी बोला था S8UL की जर्सी भी अगर मिले तो भेजना. खाली सोल की भेजी. एक जर्सी S8UL की हो जाती तो मजा आ जाता है 1.5 महीने.
NRG have given up this entire side of the map, but they're running out of info on the defensive side. They haven't
क्योंकि S8UL अब 1.5 महीना कंटिन्यूअसली वॉच पार्टी थे. इसी को धो के वापस पहनेंगे. अब तो ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में पहनेंगे. सर्वाइवर स्टेज तो अपने को करना नहीं पड़ेगा. इज व्हाट आई फील. ALGS का तो सर्वाइवर स्टेज अपने को करना नहीं है.
NRG realize it's a C take. They realize it before the push comes in, but they don't get here on time. The plan's undeniable. The position of Mini maybe a little deeper than they expect at this point. It doesn't matter.
Mini ने whip कर दिया.
Give them the advantage, and NRG are so patient. They back out immediately, saying, "We've got the man advantage. We've got time. Let's play this together."
Not wanting to risk giving a freebie away. Still quite an aggressive hold from that attack side. That might be
जयेश भाई इन पेरिस तो नॉट पॉसिबल. वही बात है ना यार.
Another one for Bebo, in fact, and now they're starting to fight this back. A low HP player, but it doesn't seem to mean too much. And for Kiko, the time already gone. A nice shot to Prox, but he has no choice.
मैं यही तो बोल रहा हूँ. S8UL की मिल जाती ना मजा सा आ जाता.
But even still, mates are not giving it up.
क्योंकि S8UL जर्सी एक्चुअली पता है बताऊँ तेरे को. सोल की तो अच्छी लग रही है. S8UL की भी अच्छी ही लग रही है. पहनी हुई अच्छी लग रही है.
But he chose a big moment to activate. Putting a big round on the board for the side of mates, getting a little bit more confident as well. And when you look at this from the perspective of NRG on the run back through, 2 players to deal with. They spread out decently. They looked for those trades. The timing a little bit off, sure. But they didn't expect those players to still be on the site. They thought they'd take a little bit more of a safe haven. They'd play towards long, that the smoke that they put down would make things awkward. Beepo ahead of it. Stands and greets them. A confident stance for a man that really wasn't connecting up until this moment.
That's the second pause, right? That's what it looks like at least.
And it's put the pressure on to NRG clearly.
Yeah, I think it's a good moment to take one, because I think you look at that sort of round and go, you get your advantage with the paranoia, and then the rest of it just slips away. You give opportunities to the likes of Beepo. And I'll be brutally honest, if you go back to watching EMEA, watching him play Duelist, I was very critical of this man. I don't think it suited him on that role. But the swap between him and Mini, I never expected.
ALGS का क्या scene है?
Like Mini is a player who's been exceptional on the Sentinel, and I looked at that and went, "Are you cutting
अभी
off
वक्त है
your
चालू
arm
होने
to
में.
spite your face?" Like it seemed super silly.
Right here.
But it is working out for the squad. 9 and 7.
इधर तो भाई अपने दो प्लेयर्स है. सारांश का क्या सीन वो नहीं पता.
It looks like a much more direct hit.
सारांश भी खेल रहा है क्योंकि
It looks that way for sure. Is it though? They ran in, immediately turned back, and now start shift walking up. If you're NRG, you've got to be perplexed by what you're facing.
Ruse.
They made this look like a ruse, so plain as day that NRG have already left the site, and now they just walk back in. That's an outrageous play to even attempt.
Oh, bhai.
Lost Beepo. Sending a lurk like this up against the pistols is a mistake, and one that mates have just paid for.
They've got to be careful.
Gotta go.
NRG might have let that last retake slip, but now with the man advantage, weaponry being retrieved, opportunities there, but Mada a little bit.
साथ में पिक करना था.
Him going in, nice shot.
बस यही
better.
टुगेदर पिक वो फ्लैश पे भी टुगेदर पिक ही चाहिए था.
Dart has to be shot. They now know that Starzo's in an aggressive position. He's about to find him for himself.
बढ़िया. उसके बाद 4 मार गया वो एक गन के पीछे.
One man left to deal with. Every single one revealed.
की को भी लाइक मैं ऑफ से ही मार देता हूँ. मैट्री खत्म.
A singular gun in the round, and then one picked up off the corpse of Beepo. That's enough for NRG to get themselves back in.
Yeah, it just looks like a small bit of a mistake from the side of mates. I love the idea. Faking out towards that site was genius, and it worked wonderfully. But when you play that lurk up against an eco, there's always a risk, and
that's nasty, though.
That was exactly the risk that was taken. Indeed, as you said, though, a nasty round from Scuba.
To get 2 players, one elevated on the box, like, that's insanity. Like, I almost now feel a little bit bad for mates watching that back and going, how has he hit both of those shots in such quick succession? But look at the damage it's done.
Cover going out.
It was NRG coming into the last round with a singular operator, which it got 1 kill. Now, we see the ultimate coming through the overdrive, attempting to try and pad the gap to what is a weaker purchase, and as of right now, it's not done the trick.
Bippo.
Even still, though, early trades, and Martin keeps things level. Another opportunity.
Bippo chatak liya.
Looks like they'll have it. Deciding to give the orb over to Martin. He'll now be 1 away from a run it back.
Look at Starzo as well.
Very late flank attempt.
एक डिफॉल्ट है इनको गया रहेगा. पक्का टकला दिखा है.
Beepo with a buddy this time to play that garage control. And they know that Beepo's towards the site. They'll see it soon. The cam activated. Beepo gonna show some tail. Buying time. That's his game. But he's failed at it. Falling with just 1. Now the defuse possibly underway as Martin's gonna be blinded up. Starzo gets 1 with a backstab, and it's huge. It faked out the Hunter's Fury to pull them off the defuse. He finds them with the backstab and now runs the clock all the way down. Starzo with a surreal play puts mates up
सब
to
चले
10.
गए. एक thirsty round.
It's funny, you think it's going to be the kill.
एक thirsty round for M8. Roland. CR7X.
He's unhinged in the best possible way.
As I said at the beginning,
Bada boom sham
Imagine players on the
shakalaka.
mid side
Teddy
that
doom doom
will hear this crowd
shakalaka.
and take it as pressure. S8UL is not one of those players. S8UL will hear that crowd roar and ask them to do it again. Even still though, the perch is up.
I have the spike.
For NRG is not a bad one. They've got some ults to help them out. They got the judge of Ethan, which certainly hasn't been bad so far. And well, you look at the position he's sitting in, you think it's going to be great. But the major danger is going to be Kiko in this corner.
Shot.
That's exactly why he's got one. Brock's there with the double tap on to beat
Shot.
and Kiko in for more. He's hungry and they keep on feeding him. Nate's finally, with a retort of their own, they find a pick. But so much more is needed for this to become a workable round yet again. The Molly, a small bit of damage.
Molly किया तो pick करना था रे जाने.
12 seconds left. But to be fair though, they will actually get the plant out of this.
10 seconds left.
The cross is not being covered, I think, by Scuba. Best he could do is spot it.
One enemy remaining.
And yeah, well.
Plant भी नहीं मिला.
How it should end. Well handled by Scuba.
परफेक्ट. गैराज भी उसने एक्सपेक्ट किया. गैराज की साउंड भी आई उसको और इवन उसके बाद उसने पैरानोया डाल के एंड भी कर दिया. दैट इज अ गुड स्टार्ट एक्चुअली.
A lot of the mess that seem to be coming in on those retakes, and I think the combination in this round is wonderful. Use the Hunter's Fury, but at the same time, that's when we see the peak out from Kiko.
ये पीक ही गंदा था मिनी का.
Set this man up for success, and he's normally the one that delivers. Even still, though, an opportunity.
एंटी दो. वेल प्लेड दो.
Last opportunity, I believe, for the mates to talk this one through. But safe to say we're in a pause when Kundi's rattling off commands like that.
Yeah, it's good to see that there's a lot of ideas there for mates. Again, thinking back on some of the rounds they've had, some nice plans, some small bumps in the road presented along the way. Think about the plan for the back spawn with the deep play in from Mini. Think in particular about the anti-eco late lurk through that they attempted with Beepo bringing them a rifle, giving NRG the chance to fight back. And I think that's going to be the most important thing for mates now, is to not give opportunities away. Harder to do it in a round like this. Pistols across the board. But the attack side's been doing well when it comes to these pistols in terms of
बट वो बूम शाकलाका.
looks like a much more direct play is going to be attempted. All the pressure.
ब्रॉक 18 और 9 है भाई अभी भी.
He's got that Odin to work with, and the spam already has put Mini down to 14 HP.
Not the start you were hoping for with the man who normally looks to break the eye line. Marder also already filling in the space. It seems like they've got a good idea of what's about to happen. Not the prettiest of sprays, but it gets the job done. In fact, the pressure really starting to build.
ब्रॉक भी लाइक मैं बुड़ करके मार दूंगा सबको.
And a nice shot on one. And what if S8UL had the spike here? We might be calling proper old school strats, but he doesn't. And you can already see that Kiko is well aware of where his opponent has come from. Doesn't hit the shot, but that's fine.
ब्रॉक भी लाइक वो एक से बचा मेरे से कहा जाएगा. ब्रॉक पागल है भाई.
To dodge the first, but can't dodge that second burst. The shot sent his way for NRG. The game far from over, as after the pause and after the eco after the pause, mates are about to be put to the test. This round, not one that I'm going to be too worried about losing typically. And if I'm not mistaken, they still have that run it back on Martin for the next, which I think is going to be the key to open the lock that is the defensive side from NRG so far.
We'll see.
But this damage has been there from Brock. The start of the last round, he lit Mini down to 14 HP. This time he puts him on 68. S8UL stripped of shields as well. Great early round by Brock, shooting a wall.
Yeah, he is just one of the best players, but maybe one of the worst humans. The way he plays the game, it really is. It's painful to watch what he's able to do, and already that running back has been denied within half of a second. It seems like they're going to try and put the pressure on, but with the running back coming through from the opposing side, they opt to scurry away, get themselves into the post plant on the B site. And well, all that running back has found is that they are no longer A.
Yeah, I do think that was probably the idea from NRG early on, just to bait out that ultimate, get rid of some of the big dangers, and now maybe have an easier time. The tap already there, it's going to get utility on the other side, reveal having to be thrown through. And
Mada gets one.
Takes down Starzo, all the while waiting for Scuba to strike from the shadows on the sidelines. Numbers fading as Scuba steps forward and finds out that there's plenty looking his way. Kiko, that smoke should count him out of the round already. It should make this impossible. And although he'll still attempt it, the camera might just have bought enough time. It's a
Nice try
for Bebo. He might not be at the top of the scoreboard, but he is certainly bringing.
दिमाग लगा रहा है बीपो. चलो, we get back to
a little bit more on top of that. So we definitely need to be keeping an eye on those ones. But look, yeah, is it Zeta? I think they were just under S8UL. Sorry, they're on that second page. So they're ones that we'll also have to keep an eye on as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here, going to have my eyes glued to Aurora, see if they can do what NIP have done, Alliance have done, because yeah, I still can't believe that they are in that position that they're in after 2 days.
And something that we haven't seen today that we have seen in previous series, Snipe Down, is teams being able to get 2 wins. It doesn't necessarily have to be back-to-back. Sometimes they're split apart, but it just hasn't happened today. What is that reason? Is it because everybody just knows that they have to play and make sure that they don't get eliminated?
Yeah, I mean, it is the final day, and we're going into the final match of all the pool play here. So, I mean, it's going to come down to who wants it the most. I don't think we're going to see any back-to-back winners in this one either. I think it's going to be well-rounded like it was in the last series, where, you know, you have some teams that were more in the middle of the pack start to push up and really try and find their stride.
Apex.
I'm hoping that, you know, one of those teams might be Enerforce 36. There's a lot of really good players on the team.
टिक मार्क आ गया होगा B वर्सेस C पे भी. अब A वर्सेस D है.
And you have a couple other people on that team, Juzna and Sinop, who have placed 3rd at major lands before. So this is a team as well that we should focus on.
Where are we? 13th.
They have a home crowd and they have dominated.
104 पे इतनी टीम्स है.
Also at the bottom of that leaderboard, we have to give them a chance, just like we've been giving, you know, some of these other rosters.
ZD89 पे है, बाकी 104 पे कितनी टीम्स है भाई? 104 has so many teams. RRQ, S8UL, Ninjas in Pajamas, Wolves. Wolves चलो 105 में है, फिर 106 पे 2 टीम है, Unlimited और Virtuous Pro के. अपने मैचेस किसके सामने है?
He's got a little like shrine out the back with like effect, and he just goes and sits there for a bit. So
Okay, अपने गेम में ये टीम्स ही नहीं है जो मैं नाम लिया अभी, तो अपन आगे निकल चुके हैं वैसे भी. Okay.
I'm looking at him like my little brother.
Where are you now? Why are you up here not taking care of it?
Because I'm working.
That's crazy.
Graceful, does that worry you though? For Seta, you were saying they're usually known as slow starters, but in this one it feels like it's the complete opposite, right? Because remember, that squad was able to get some wins on the first 2 days. Are you starting? Does it worry you now?
चलो perfect. Can be set कर लिया.
You say they were slow starting. They had 4 donuts pretty much, and then they won back to back. So
बाबा कितना मिनट बचा है? Wait to see का चल रहा है. I think S8UL confirm point in EWC or Apex chess. If they outperform, then it's okay.
Not back to back, but at least 2 wins.
Godless Power, welcome to the stream, buddy. कैसे हो? हाँ तो that's true.
That's what I'm calling right now. Minimum 1 win.
All right, I like this. And you know what? Quickly, Snipe, if we were to get it,
That's true. EWC chess those points are true. I would say EAFC में अगर अच्छा परफॉर्म कर लेते हैं तो बढ़िया है. कुछ ऐसे टाइटल्स हैं जहां अगर अच्छा परफॉर्म करते हैं तो अच्छी बात है. अगर नए हो तो यार प्लीज सब्सक्राइब मार लेना.
It's like, you know, I think they can do it, but I think they can't have to.
I thought, yeah, okay. Hey, that's the thing though. With a team like Liquid,
BGMI में देखो होप है नहीं, बट होप रखनी चाहिए, उम्मीदें होनी ही चाहिए, बिकॉज गॉडल का भी सेकेंड टूर्नामेंट है इंटरनेशनली. BGMI आने के बाद गॉडल भी सेकेंड टूर्नामेंट खेल रही है भाई. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि पहला ही हो, गॉडल का भी दूसरा है. So I felt bad about it. OG का भी दूसरा है, गॉडल का भी दूसरा है.
3 histoires possibles: triompher, survivre ou être éliminé de la compétition.
Yesterday we spoke about
You can say lineup का first है. You can just say that कि lineup का first है. That's true. That's completely true. बट एस पावर बीइंग एस पावर भाई, मेरे को उम्मीद एस पावर से है। देखो एस पावर से लंबी उम्मीदें रखना वाजबी है भाई। मन्या, एक बात बताता हूँ, मन्या का वैसा सीन है कि मन्या इंटरनेशनल स्टेज के लिए बना हुआ था। सोल में भी वो तभी था, गॉडल में भी वो तब दे एंजॉयिंग। They're enjoying. Yeah, he is a proven player. तो वही बात है ना, एस पावर प्रूवन है, मन्या प्रूवन है। अगर ये प्लेयर्स नहीं परफॉर्म करते तो प्रॉब्लम्स है, एंड वी नीड टू परफॉर्म। क्योंकि देखो एस पावर आगे जाके स्पोर्ट्स नेशंस कप के लिए भी है, नेशंस कप के लिए भी एस पावर खेल रहा है। तो यू कैन नॉट जस्ट लीव इट।
Gladiators!
S8UL Esports.
AGAL!
भाई एनसीआर क्या लग रहा है वालों में, क्योंकि इफ चैलेंज भी क्वालिफाइड। देखो हम लोग वीसीटी पैसिफिक एलसीक्यू हार के आए हैं, फोर्थ हो क्या है मतलब, लाइटनिंग फर्स्ट। वो आदमी नहीं भगवान है राइट नाउ वीसीस में। आई वुड से वीसीएस सर्किट में राइट नाउ ही इज गॉडफादर मैन। जो खेल रहा है ना वो ही इज गॉडली। एलसीक्यू के अंदर भी उसी ने परफॉर्म किया। आई वुड से हेलेफ ने इम्प्रूव किया है, हेलेफ ने बहुत अच्छा इम्प्रूव किया है, दैट्स ट्रू। बट उस लाइनअप में डमारा से उम्मीदें थी, डमारा ने नहीं परफॉर्म किया। सायो से उम्मीदें थी, सायो ने नहीं परफॉर्म किया। सो दैट वाज बैड। उसी वजह से हम 2 मैप्स ओटी जाके हारे हैं। काफी सारे राउंड्स हमने इजी थ्रो किए हैं जो नहीं करने चाहिए थे। आई थिंक ही इज गोइंग वीसीटी नेक्स्ट ईयर। मे भी जा सकता है, कोई भी हायर कर सकता है। वेंका अगर रेगुलरली खेले तो वेंका को भी कोई भी उठा सकता है। देखो ईएनसी में जो बंदे अच्छा खेलेंगे ना वीसीटी टीम्स की, उनके ऊपर नजर रहेगी ही रहेगी। यू जस्ट कैन नॉट आउटराइट देम कि भाई हाँ तुम नहीं कर पाओगे उनको साइड लाइन। वो प्लेयर्स उठेंगे, वेंका उठेगा। वेंका रिटायरिंग, देखो मैं एक बात बताऊं, Yeah, we could have defeated 552. येजिंग को भी हरा सकते थे। येजिंग के टाइम पे भी हेवन पे वो 2v1 वाला राउंड, 4v3 वाला राउंड सब थ्रो किए। देखो वेंका अगर वीसीटी पे, एक बात बोलूं, कोई भी अगर वीसीटी स्टेज पे क्वालिफाई कर रहा है ना, कोई भी अगर वीसीटी स्टेज के ऊपर उसको ऑफर आएगा तो वो रिटायर नहीं करेगा। द गाइज विल गो एंड प्ले। रिटायरमेंट वापस लेने के लिए एक पोस्ट लगती है भाई कि आई एम कमिंग बैक, आई एम कम्पीटिंग, सिंपल। यू जस्ट कैन नॉट से कि हम रिटायर कर रहे हैं। एज भी कुछ नहीं है। तुमने अभी 12th खत्म की है भाई, 12th या फर्स्ट ईयर खत्म हुई है बंदे की, फर्स्ट ईयर या सेकंड ईयर खत्म हुई है मैक्स टू मैक्स। एक 2 साल का गैप है, ठीक है यार। बट इफ यू रीच वीसीटी लाइफ चेंज हो जाती है अंदर की। मे भी पॉसिबल है कि फ्यूचर स्टेट वहां से वो अपनी मेहनत कंटिन्यू करे और वो उसके बाद EMEA रीजन में खेलता हुआ दिखे, नॉट पैसिफिक। तो कुछ चीजें हैं जो पॉसिबिलिटीज है। अब लेट्स सी हाउ इट गोज।
Everything on the line
within Apex Legends Global Series here in the Split 1 playoffs at EWC 2026. We got groups A and D. We saw our first series play out, the stress on so many of our players' faces. And now, when these teams have all their fate in their own hands as they watch the Key Crusher from their seats, they know what is at risk. Welcome everybody, I'm Vicky Kitty.
Which all games you watch, buddy? I saw your reel about ENC Valo. Okay. देखो, I'm watching Apex for the first time. मैं EAFC follow करता हूँ. मैं right now EWC के लिए मेरे को हर एक टाइटल जिसमें इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट है, HOK, EWC में और कौन सी है? HOK में है, PUBG मोबाइल में है, टेकन में है, EAFC में है, एपेक्स में है, चेस में है, वैलो में था. I follow around 10 titles. 8 से 10 titles I follow.
It's time to fight dirty or be crushed as we take a look at Olympus.
Thank you.
Again, for our first 3 games.
Guys, मेरा तो डिनर आ गया, तुम लोग भी डिनर ले लो यार. अतुल भाई कैसे हो? क्या हाल है? जीती सुबह एनएसपी, कभी किधर? कहाँ जीती भाई? सपने में?
Now, based off what we saw in our earlier series, you can tell that everyone that favored Grow Towers, Gardens, Clinics, Summers University will likely have the beneficial pools.
हाँ, टेकन अगर स्ट्रीम हो रहा है, क्वेश्चन था. सुबह एनएसपी का गेम ही नहीं था.
Esports at Fight Night and Dog Grid at Power Grid. Those squads earlier
हम कल ही एलिमिनेट हो गए थे.
Those positions had some of the most crazy rotations and mid-game performances. So I'm hoping, Vicky, that our teams that are looking for a great comeback can navigate that.
कल था हम एलिमिनेट हो गए, 2-0 आ रहे थे.
Different zone variation. You got your Zeta fans on the screen right now, hoping for a powerful performance.
Oh shit, my bad.
26th place.
जले पे नमक में छिड़को यार. कल ये जिनको हरा सकते थे, परसों एनएसपी को हरा सकते थे. दोनों टीम्स बहुत वीक है. ट्रिपल 5 वाला भी हारे ही थे ना. ट्रिपल 5 वाला तो अपन ने साथ में तो देखा था. that want to be able to find themselves in that final lobby, whereas the bottom 6 teams at the देखो एस्पावर भाई, मैं आपको एक चीज बोलता हूँ. गॉडल कहीं भी खेले, वी विल बी हियर. S8UL कहीं भी खेले, वी विल बी हियर, बिकॉज इंडियन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है. एट द एंड वी आर गेटिंग समथिंग. ऐसा नहीं है हम लोगों को कहीं. कल S8UL का एपेक्स भी बढ़िया गया. कल मैं वॉच पार्टी नहीं किया उसके बाद, क्योंकि कोलाइड हो रहा था.
The second seed in America is currently situated within that slot. 41 points. We'll need to fight nail by nail, like point by point. It's going to be insane because there's so many teams in Group A that are just ahead of them. And then another squad that is inside that's going to be fighting here today. It's Interforce.
Real power? No.
TLN Pirates, our French roster that have found themselves within that bottom 6 with their potential final 6 games here. You can start with TLN Pirates, some change-ups, right? You have to think about it this way. Zidane is on that.
Real S power होता तो blue tick होता.
Player right there. And he has the potential to go home. You know who stepped on that stage to coach him? Nasky. Should be a familiar name for a lot of you at home.
By the way, आदि सारे टाइटल्स की मिल गई. पहले से 2 ही टाइटल्स की मिली थी. What you think? Top 3 players in Valo in India, and why not we have good Dota player and CS that we are not qualifying in ENC? Because I itself know a player who played Dota for our in top rank. Ah, sexy. Yep. The problem is, as far as देखो, the problem is सबसे पहले exposure, दूसरी चीज seriousness. Somewhere दोनों चीजें problems देती है. वो दोनों चीजें प्रॉब्लम देती है. प्लेयर्स के अंदर सीरियसनेस नहीं है, प्लेयर्स के पास इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोजर नहीं है. देखो पहले आप यहीं ग्राइंड नहीं कर पाओगे तो अग्रीड, एक्सपोजर इज द इशू. गॉटन सीरियसनेस इज सेकंड. क्योंकि भाई बहुत ऐसे प्लेयर्स है, बहुत ऐसी टीम्स है जो सिर्फ एक चीज मैंने नोटिस की है, जो सिर्फ देखते हैं कि भाई हमें सैलरी कहाँ मिल रही है, दे गो ऑन फॉर सैलरीज, उनको परफॉर्मेंस से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता। जैसे ही आज चालू हुआ गेम, एवरीबॉडी रीचेस। किधर है किधर है किधर है भाई जेडीजी? गाइस अगर डिनर नहीं किया तो डिनर लेके आ जाओ, डिनर कर लो। 9:45 बज गई है। गोकू भाई बस कर, अरे भेज रहे हो। They are playing. S8UL के पास रियल चांस है टू विन दिस इवेंट। ZD is doing good। दोनों इंडियन टीम्स अगर क्वालिफाई कर जाती है भाई, जोन बहुत प्यारा है, जोन बहुत प्यारा है S8UL के पास। 6-in-1 पिज्जा और मोमोज और आइसक्रीम खाया अभी। ओके वेल, मैं पकोड़े खा रहा हूँ बारिश की वजह से, वड़े और पकोड़े दोनों बने हैं, आलू वड़े बने हैं मस्त।
They're going crypto seer, which means we are going on the hunt. Olympus is a fighting map, and you must take what you want.
It's following the trend, right? It's not even just a few. It's literally every single team 100% pick rate of crypto. As we say goodbye to crypto first.
मैं वेजिटेरियन है तो।
So many of our first games throughout the course of the playoffs, but already with Zeta Division, we took a look at their fans. And we take a look at how they situated themselves right next to PXX, S8UL, JD Gaming.
मोस्टली सेम होता है, मोस्टली कैरेक्टर्स इस वजह से सेम होते हैं क्योंकि इसमें कैरेक्टर बैंस होते रहे। कितना झूठ बोलेगा, यहाँ मेटा है।
S8UL will have to note where Gaming Gladiators rotates from. So you highlighted since they come out of Clinic. That's something that Gaming Gladiators could capitalize off of when it comes to the teams that rotate.
कितना झूठ बोलेगा, किस चीज के बारे में झूठ बोल रहा भाई?
Aurora need the proximity to the next circle. When you think about them, it's not a team that you would have picked to be in contention for elimination. They're sitting in 34th place with 51.
साले वेजिटेरियन ही हूँ क्या है?
So TLNP, who
घर वाले तो बेचारे अनियन गार्लिक भी नहीं खाते हैं। वेजिटेरियन क्या, मैं जैन हूँ एक तरीके भाई, एक तरीका क्या जैन ही हूँ, बट हाँ आई ईट। जैन हो गया, यस 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 यस। घर वाले अब अभी 2-3 महीने तो अब ये कि घर पे भी आलू कांदा लहसुन नहीं आएगा, आलू भी नहीं आएगा 3 महीने, तो 3-4 महीने, 2-3 महीने तो पक्का ही नहीं आते, फिर वो लास्ट महीने में मैं जिद कर लेता हूँ तो आ जाते हैं।
Force 36 were also one of my teams at risk to watch for potentially going home. To see them take out, I'm going to call them Titans of the lobby because they are a question mark team. They're a team that are not scared to fight. Dinos are crazy when it comes to pushing anything. And for Inner Force 36, by shutting them down, a great start, which is exactly needed for them. Elsewhere, we are seeing fights break out in that circle. It's position for endgame.
Gotta discuss things with the script writers, with a lot of these teams waking up, and now waking up VSN Carter.
S8UL को एक फ्रैग भी मिल गया।
And that's scary with Aurora on her 34th in the overall standings, a team that
मेरा एपेक्स का फुल फ्लेजेड फर्स्ट टूर्नामेंट है, पता है, मैं पहला ऐसा टूर्नामेंट है जो एपेक्स का देख रहा हूँ फ्लेजेडली, एकदम ऐसा एक भी मैप ना मिस किया, एक भी मैच ना मिस किया।
chasing him down, don't want him to get away. As Effect finds Carter in the 1v1. Effect cannot clutch it out, and Aurora are your 17th squad eliminated here in this lobby.
Aurora is one of my favorite orgs that always pops up on the timeline. They have the funniest clips and recaps of ALGS days. And
Apex is one of the best games to play. मैं वैलो खेलता हूँ, मेरे को वॉचिंग नहीं आती भाई। मेरा चैट जाके वो तो है, अग्री करता हूँ मैं आदित्य से, बिकॉज इतनी यूटिल्स मेरे को समझ में आई है ना 2 दिन के अंदर। मेरे को शील्ड समझ में आ गई, मेरे को वायर समझ में आ गए, यहाँ पे जो लोग शील्ड्स के साथ जो वायर्स बनते हैं
seen in our last series, but AG Global have been playing out of their minds within this group stage. Looking on the other side, though,
काफी सारी चीजें समझ में भी जल्दी आती है इसमें.
from the other side and quickly with a speed run fight take out Dog Red. I'm already witnessing Tiff a very fast pace.
Dog Red तो टीम ही गायब हो गई. Wow.
They know what needs to be done when it comes to Olympus. You saw a little bit of it early on, and we get to see that initial aggression.
अच्छा. Actually मेरे को तो legit पता ही नहीं था. मेरे को interesting अब लग रहा है because मैं देख पा रहा हूँ. मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, मैंने कितने टाइम के मतलब एपेक्स तो सबसे आगे खेले. कितनी यूटिल्स है कुछ समझता ही नहीं है कब इनिशियली. तो ये तो ठीक है, 2-3 दिन देख रहे हैं इसके लिए पता चल रहा है. E36 गायब, 2 बंदे नॉक है. प्रॉब्ली की एचपी भी लो है. हील कर लिया, बढ़िया. वैल्यू में तो हो गया इन लोगों का वैम्पायर भाई. क्या बोलूं मैं. मतलब आई फेल्ट बैड जब एनएसपी ने इतना गंदा खेला. सेकेंड डे, फर्स्ट डे तो अच्छा खेली.
E36 now are out in 15th.
Clean fight there from AG Global, who had to worry about their space, because you're right. Talking about the shots from the distance, Trinity.
मेरे अलावा और लोग चैट कर रहे हैं प्रोग्रेस में. हाँ है ना, क्यों नहीं है.
Really preventing that team to full send. So at least you have Alter to be able to portal through and finish them out for E36, a team that's.
भाई मैं सच बता रहा हूँ.
Sure, at least you got a couple of KP points, but another team who needs them desperately.
EWC मेरे लिए इस साल की EWC है ना.
Nice set of shields here. The Wraith play coming out with Catalyst and Crypto. They know they need to get aggressive, and they're
कैपिटल से क्या बकवास के लिए. If I'm not wrong, Apex play on controller, right? 2 प्लेयर्स पीसी पे होते हैं, 1 कंट्रोलर पे होता है. दोनों का मिक्सर रहता है. सोल 6 हो गया, कल फर्स्ट था ना. तो ये ग्रुप स्टेज का लास्ट ग्रुप है बेसिकली. तो आज सुबह जिन प्लेयर्स ने खेला वो ऊपर गए हैं. 3 फ्रैग्स अपन ने निकाल दिए. 6 टीमें एलिमिनेट हो गई है. कल सेकंड थे अपन, बट ये लास्ट ग्रुप है. तो आज जिनके ग्रुप्स है वो खत्म हो गए. बट गुड लॉबी, बट वी आर बेटर. वी आर दी बेस्ट इन दिस लॉबी राइट नाउ. सर्कल का भी सेंटर है अपने पास, तो आराम से अपन टॉप 5 निकाल सकते हैं इसमें. थोड़े बहुत करके खाली फ्रैग्स निकालने. किल पॉइंट्स मिल गए, मजा आ जाएगा.
that are trying to find those engagements. Where do you want to go? You're going to have Zipline Mafia out your back, and Team Vision clearly keeping that pressure on. Elsewhere, deep cross. AG is better.
अरे बट नहीं, AG अच्छी है नो डाउट, बट मैं आज भी बोलता हूँ भाई, अपनी टीम यहाँ पे अच्छा कर सकती है. कल 2 विक्ट्री मस्ट लिया था. मैंने एक देखा था, दूसरा नहीं देखा. मैंने एक तो देखा था. 5th मैच का देखा था, 6th मैच का नहीं देखा. यहाँ ये 6 गेम्स में हमसे को कम से कम 1 विक्ट्री चाहिए, और सब टॉप 6-7 तो आना ही चाहिए. थोड़ा रियलिस्टिक बात कर लेते हैं, नहीं तो मैं बोलता हूँ हर गेम टॉप 3 चाहिए. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. लेकिन ऑल ऑफ दीज आर, हाँ तो वो तो है ही है ना 100%. ये राइट नाउ वर्ल्ड की 40 बेस्ट टीम्स है. 6th मैच एलिमिनेट हुए थे, तो 4th और 5th में विनर आया था क्या? हाँ 4th और 5th, सॉरी मैंने 5th देखा था. फिर तो 2nd था. मैंने 4th नहीं फिर 5th देखा था, ऐसा कुछ है. 6th मैंने देखा ही नहीं, और मेरे को 4th का रिजल्ट भी नहीं पता था. 9 लोग देख रहे हो यार, थैंक यू सो मच. सब्सक्राइब मार देना, लाइक कर देना. इसमें जो वो थे ना एकदम इनविजिबल होके डैश करते, वो एकदम क्रेजी लगता है. कौन सा है, रेफ्ट है क्या है वो यूज करके? लास्ट सर्कल्स में मैंने बहुत टीम्स को यूज करते हुए देखा है टू गेट इनटू द सर्कल.
So much space, man, just covered with that void passage.
Dash करके जाने का अंदर.
They're definitely in a better position when it comes to that survival stage. As Trinity, you had just talked about from APAC North, they're currently in the bottom 6. So these are teams that all need as many points as they can. So thinking of where we go the map, Trinity definitely has to move. You have that pop-up.
Circle का एरिया देखो अपना.
Definitely going to favor Team Liquid, who build from Elysium and can just walk through. Gaming Gladiators, who began at Clinic, will be holding up that east side. I'm only worried about Team Vision, who's just below them, who will likely I would go to fight for that building to clear out that side. And
हाँ वो तो है, वो तो I agree, वो I am not saying no to it.
outside of that next circle is identifying
ये गेम में जोन का एरिया बहुत प्यारा है अपने पास.
earlier, and that's exactly what's happening. The big shake up for me is how everyone's going to have
बहुत कम टीम्स हैं जिनके अलग अलग एजेंट्स हैं बेसिकली. बहुत सारी टीम्स मोस्टली सिमिलर एजेंट्स के साथ ही खेलती है.
I love how you highlight that too, just talking about not only the lack of space that some of these later rotating teams have to work with, but how they're going to try to counter that with the way that they can mirror. Oh my goodness, Vision 150, infinite ammo on the Kraber, but even after getting that knock, Team Vision are just looking to put a damper on this rotate for
विनेबल GMD नो जिंक्स. अरे बोलना ही नहीं था खाली, मैं खाली इसके लिए वही बोला कि जगह अच्छी है.
But this is going to be some KP that Vision want to get aggressive with, but they have to be careful, Tiff, because remember, one of the teams hanging out in Clinic.
7 सेकंड में जोन.
Gaming Gladiators who could just easily grief them if they have the opportunity.
Yeah, essentially, if you're running Alter, what can you do? You throw down your portal, you send.
कल रात को ओपनिंग सेरेमनी देखने जो मजा आया ना मेरे को.
Jail card free, you can just come back running. You see that.
मैं YouTube पे ओपनिंग सेरेमनी इसीलिए नहीं करना चाहता था क्योंकि ओपनिंग सेरेमनी स्ट्रीम करने के बाद मेरे को या तो अनलिस्ट करना पड़ता, नहीं तो डिलीट ही करनी पड़ती क्योंकि कॉपीराइट्स आते ही आते. डन डन फुल स्क्रीन करके मैच देखो गाइस, जितने भी हो फुल स्क्रीन करके भाई मैच देखो. इट्स ऑल गुड. लेगेसी गेट्स 1.
Around the wall, Kazakh forced outside this fight. He's able to pop the shield back for now. Can they get the reset is the question. I mean, they want to try to prioritize at least.
प्यारा भाई, बहुत प्यारा.
Void Nexus to reset, and that's what happens when you get all these ultra.
रेस भी हो जाएगा.
In the feed, gets a Kraber shot onto Yanya. Non-stop fighting in every corner. At least that doesn't stop the res.
फोर्थ जोन 1.5 मिनट में.
Despite getting hit. Yeah, right. PTSD with the Seer tactical. It's just about getting that information, which is easily still a thorn for some of these teams. Team Vision fully looking at the action happening between Zipline Mafia and Trinity, but they see.
By the way, is that new Soul jersey? Yes, sir.
Now is clearing their backs for Gaming Gladiators. We'll have to fight against Team Vision eventually.
New Soul jersey.
Trinity getting the reset here. There were a lot of teams looking to fight on this, but everyone has backed away. Team Vision elsewhere has put distance up onto Gaming Gladiators, and Trinity has full set Zipline Mafia. Excuse does take some damage. Down goes Roi, and the Altar is the last standing here for Trinity. Back and forth through the portal, trying to hold on.
Why are you running?
ZDB मार रही है, let's go.
Get eliminated. AG Global, and so does Team Liquid. This is the non-stop fighting that we were expecting. Once they were forced to
ZDB मस्त मार रही है.
zone that you highlighted, Tip, especially in terms of their pathing, and now at least from Zipline Mafia, they
नहीं नहीं भाई, मेरा पता है 2019 वाला जो वेनम है ना, वो इतना खुश हुआ है लाइक 2018-19 वाला वेनम की भाई सोल की जर्सी मिली है. All thanks to Thugbai and Vedant. कि भाई एटलीस्ट जर्सी हमको अवेलेबल करवा के दी. S8UL की भी हो जाती. थगबाई पैरिस है यार.
The way that Zeta Division is just consistent. Saw Yuka in the feed with the Kraber via SN2 now.
S8UL की भी अवेलेबल करवा देते. थगबाई पैरिस चले गए.
Zolder's going to be able to find Blast in the process.
इंडिया होते तो बात अलग रहती.
Gaming Gladiators leaving only one alone, but it's going to be the Zeta Division.
और जयेश भाई भी पैरिस है साथ में.
Trying to face off against each other on the northwestern side of this next zone, and they're going to be busy. Well, for fun, dude, look at them. A big pile up here eventually as they drop down. Yuka playing up the low ground as these TPs gets the follow.
ZD eliminatory.
Onto Jelly and Deeds, while Zeta have the number advantage.
ZD eliminatory.
Thanks to the crypto drone highlighting exactly.
एक बंदा खत्म हो चुका है, एक नॉक है. हमें भी दिलवा दो, मेरे को मुश्किल से मिली है. ये तो ठीक है. मैं एक्चुअली जयपुर जाता ना तो मैं 2-3 जर्सीज लेके आता. मैं जयपुर नहीं गया तो एक ही मिली. मैं जयपुर जाने वाला था. Many things were happening together, na? जस्ट नॉक हुआ, हो गया रेस। टीम विजन गई।
On the alternator, while PXX get eliminated, there's 4 teams piled up against each other in Gardens. Who will survive?
Jesco!
Who need this? They take down Jesco, they take down Sharky, but Legacy chomps back with a trade on a Stay Naughty. Shubi last alive with floating.
गलत एलिमिनेट हो जाएंगे, गलत जगह एलिमिनेट हुए यार। इतना प्यारा जोन हो के गलत जगह एलिमिनेट हो गए। नाइस ट्राई बट कुड हैव डन बेटर। पुश अच्छा आया ये लोग का, अच्छा। और जेडी भी गई भाई, दोनों टीमें चली गई अपनी।
As 4Fun get eliminated, but though he's incredibly low, love the swing and the follow-up from Stay Naughty, but now they have to move, they can't get the res. The zone's closing in right behind their backs, and Pirates get eliminated. Shubi is just built different.
The fact that TLN Pirates fall, Zeta Division, they live to see another day. There's at least one crypto left for them. You can see Satuki over there on
दो टीम से एक्चुअली हाँ, बट वो जो पुश आया वो होल्ड नहीं कर पाया। एक्चुअली जेडी भी जल्दी एलिमिनेट हो गई। बाय द वे मेरा जेडी के साथ थोड़ा सा लफड़ा हो रखा है, बट ठीक है।
He has no ammo. He has 24 bullets and no reserve. Anyone got light? Chat?
Definitely
Chat, you guys got light?
Definitely not hell in this lobby. Hopefully they're going to be able to get some loot off those death boxes. Oh my goodness, that nade! Sasuke moving up here as Kazak is going to be able to find Stay Naughty. I mean, this is a situation where now Zipline Mafia, a team ramping up, finds Zeta the solo, and this is all for Zipline Mafia to take home. AKP making 9 on board to take the win and to take game.
Zipline Mafia निकाल गई।
That is absolutely insane because Vicky, if you remember, we're looking at the
फाइन फाइन, पहला गेम था कोई बात नहीं। देखो अपन ग्रैंड फाइनल्स पहुंच रहे हैं, ये कंफर्म है। सर्वाइवर स्टेज स्ट्रीम नहीं करनी पड़ेगी, ये भी कंफर्म है।
The fact that they had to go from the furthest POI up on the northwestern side of things over to Gardens. No wonder they acquire 9 kills. They do 3,200 damage. And it's not even like they were safe. They are just above the bottom 6.
Crazy when they need it here too. If you look at the overall standings in
एक और चीज है गाइस, आज जो भी ओवरऑल स्टैंडिंग्स में बॉटम 6 पे रहेगा वो तो एलिमिनेट होना ही होना है, कंफर्म है।
wanted to catch themselves in the top 14 so they could avoid the survivor stage. Or our 15th and 34th place.
S8UL के लिए आज का दिन was good.
10 match series. This is how you start things off for Zipline Mafia. I love their rotate. I love how we were able to see the fights happening over to the south side, how they were able to rotate up towards Gardens. You could see the action happening in Clinic, that they were able to avoid that pile up. And honestly, that also goes hand in hand with the composition that they were rocking, Tiff.
It really does, and you even have to think about the fact
S8UL के लिए
not only were they able to put on pressures for Team Vision,
सेकंड आइस तुम खाओ खाओ मजा करो।
stood against Trinity. There were so many teams for fun esports.
मैं तो सब कुछ यार, ये जो कुकी है ना, इतनी प्यारी कुकी है, मजा आ जाता है।
Crypto is 100% the comp to do it. So as we take a few moments and step back to our top 3 squads left, we get it from Zipline's more POV here. We swing around, we find Shubi.
क्या हुआ S8UL का? आज का दिन बहुत अच्छा रहा है S8UL के लिए।
A Zeta division to just
in general.
the rest of the lobby. But shout out to Zeta, bro. They got 9 kills as well, an 18-point game. Those top 3 teams, they know exactly.
Puma lower brackets में अच्छा कर रहा।
Even JD Gaming having double-digit kills and 17 points.
Apex qualify कर जाएगी। 6 points, good. Average अच्छी है।
To their name, look at this Zipline Mafia coming through, not only with that dub, but as you mentioned, to the 9KP as well. Even Pirates, how we were talking about Pirates leading.
By the way, I want to know, अतुल भाई, अगर आपने आज वो ट्वीट देखा है उस बंदे का, I don't remember the name, पर एक बंदा बोल रहा है इंडिया में तो पबजी बैन है, तो बीजीएमआई की टीम ग्लोबल लेवल पे पबजी जाके कैसे खेल सकती है?
looking for those fights against Zipline Mafia and everyone in the south, but we're only able to get a placement point from that. But with the pace of this lobby, it should start playing out a lot more like scrims. That's typically how fast those lobbies run, and usually it's completely different when we get to land. You're walking into some of these end games.
फिर तो जब जापान, कोरिया, इंडिया आते हैं बीजीएमआई खेलने, उनको भी नहीं आना चाहिए। तब हम लोग क्यों एक्सपेक्ट करते कि वो लोग आए?
But Olympus, I think you just have to fight.
It was so aggressive at the beginning.
You have
How
to
many
get
teams did we
aggressive.
say goodbye to like before that second round ring like even started closing?
We were on 14.
तब तो we all need कि वो आए।
Yeah, it's so crazy. And then we got
हमको इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोजर मिला, सब मिला। गाइस सेकंड गेम चालू होने से पहले प्ले ट्रैक क्या था?
Raver and Yuka's hand onto griefing AG Global. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, every team that we highlighted.
भाई बहुत आर सही बात है।
North of Gardens, we literally had no space to play off of because the teams that were coming out of Gardens were able to harass them safely from afar.
You say Gardens, they immediately go to S8UL, and they've got their coach here, Rogers, just immediately starting to break down. Hey, what could have went wrong possibly? If the circle pulls here, here are the teams you have to be very aware of. This is where they're landing. You're going to have timings. And with Alter still in the lobby, and all of these teams that are hyper aggressive, I love how production was like trying to like zoom in on that. Like
that was so good. I'm sorry, I love that.
Bro, you looking at their homework?
Hold on. I want to bring attention to that, especially when it comes to trying to appreciate as a community the coaches and what they bring.
Everything.
For these pro teams, man. Like, for so long, we talk about it. They're waiting in the shadows, right? All the memes that have come out.
No,
you know?
I was talking to the boys at S8UL, and I was like, does your coach Fry? Like, does he play a lot? They're like, if something happened and he had to step in, we would literally be fine.
I love that.
They said that about Rogers, and I was like, that's good.
Having the breakdown, the papers to show the homework, right? You're letting them know, right? So if this ends up being the rotate, this is what could have gone wrong. If this happens where the zone ends up pulling towards your POI, where some teams end up struggling, what can you do differently so that way you can elevate your Evo shields? It's all these little things that play a part to what makes the grander scope of the Apex Legends Global Series, that beautiful trophy smack dab in the middle and between our teams. And what is at risk, right? Because then you have to think about the bottom 6 teams that have to look at those keys, get crushed in the crusher. It's almost like a threat that's looming right on top of them, but then you kind of have the trade-off, the beautiful trophy shining there. Other teams now getting ready to go. Talked about Gaming Gladiators earlier and how they were able to situate themselves and find that space in Clinic while still putting in pressure, but taking some of those fights on the edge is almost like a green light for the teams who do want to play a lot more safe versus the teams that know they have to get really aggressive to get the points that they need in the course of these next 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's already shifted substantially. It's just with one game. JD Gaming, who is in the bottom 6, no longer are they in the bottom 6. They are up to 33rd with 7 points separating them from the bottom 6. Aurora dropped down into the bottom 6. Enterforce 36 toggled a few places, but TLN Pirates are no longer in that last place slot. They are starting to work their way up, but it is going to take a monumental series. And if anyone can do it, it is definitely going to be those French team because they are one of the craziest fighting teams. Like, I think back historically, like I'm going 2 to 3 years ago, that team used to be La Cité de France, and they were in some of the wildest Skyhook West contests. So I'm keeping my eyes out. Trinity, on the other hand, will also need a same performance like TLN Pirates, and WGR Neo is on the cusp.
It's just that there's so many teams in that later half, the bottom 10 of the overall standings, that are trying to find that race. And it's about finding that momentum early on, right? So if you know you have to get aggressive, once again, like knowing how many points you need just so that way you could go in for the survivor stage at the very least is what sets the pacing here. As we get a nice little flyby Zeta Division and the plushies.
Those are so cute.
I love it. I kind of want one.
Zipline Mafia is the best. I mean, yeah, they just won.
Shout out to the fans in the crowd. I mean, we have little nuggets that have made their way here, Tiff. I know it's your favorite, too, to highlight the families that are showing their support for the players.
I love it. JD Gaming, you can see them kind of breaking some things down. Some of the highlights of the fraggers, when you kind of pair up groups A versus D, there are a couple people in this lobby that are usually the
ones that पानी वानी पी के आ गए, सब सही है. No worries.
Is one of them. And with just
वो करवा रहे हैं, इन्हें क्या दिक्कत है? सही बात है यार. मैं देखो एक ही चीज बोलता हूँ. It is always like that. कि भाई अगर कुछ इंडिया में अच्छा हो रहा है, उंगली करने के लिए लोगों को मत लेके आओ. और ऐसा तो नहीं है कि भाई इंडिया में आके वो लोग पबजी खेल रहे हैं, हम बाहर जा रहे हैं, हम खेलेंगे।
What's going on here when you're on the international stage? Is it nerves? I mean, we're 3 days in at this point. You know what to expect. Is it being able to see a different game plan play out with the way that these international teams, if you don't have that experience, playing on the big stage, in trying to find that flow, find these rotations, these zone pools.
भाई legit बताओ एक और चीज,
and their POIs don't really go hand in hand. Or could it be the energy from the fans that help fuel them?
I think it's the fans. I think it's the fan. I think it's a fan and the infinite ammo Kraber in the hands of UGF. Let's be real. Because when we think about what game number 2 is going to look like, let's
I might be sound.
We did see that crypto ban. The likelihood of the most major picks that we're going to get on our legends is going to be Seer.
मैं किसी चीज का ऑनर नहीं हो रहा, उनकी गाफ में कर दूंगा। देखो मैं एक ही चीज बोलता हूँ यार, इसी चीज के लिए तो मेरे को गुस्सा आता है कि इंडिया के अंदर अगर कोई चीज ग्रो हो रही होती है ना, अब है बीजीएमआई ग्रोथ के लिए, ग्रोथ इज कमिंग फ्रॉम बीजीएमआई, तो उसको क्यों उंगली करनी है? करने दो ना भाई। यहाँ महाराष्ट्र का सीएम आके एक ई स्पोर्ट्स इवेंट के अंदर ही इज सेइंग दैट क्रिएटर इकोनॉमी बूम हो रही है, गेमिंग इकोनॉमी बूम हो रही है, GTA 6 के ट्रेलर को इतने व्यूज आ गए, उतने व्यूज आ गए, उतने तो कोई मूवी के ट्रेलर को भी नहीं आते, और इनको उंगली करनी है। इन्हीं लोगों की वजह से वैलो मोबाइल लेट हो रहा है, पता है? ऐसे ही लोगों की वजह से वैलो मोबाइल बहुत लेट हो रहा है।
Zipline Mafia are currently situated in that mid-20s area based off that win, 21 points.
क्योंकि कैसे है, वैलो मोबाइल में भी टेंसेंट का रोल है थोड़ा बहुत, क्या बहुत रोल है। फिर से जोन अच्छा है, फिर से जोन क्या क्रेजी बना है।
Well, I mean that means Zipline Mafia wins again, right?
Oh, if it follows a script, right? The script writer is hard at work.
Look at everyone running. Dinos hop into the
वही ना, सड़क बना रहे हैं, क्या बना रहे हैं, अब क्यों बना रहे हैं, पहले क्यों नहीं बनाई? तो वैलो मोबाइल डिले होने का कारण क्या है? हम लोग सब गुस्सा क्यों हुए हैं कि भाई वैलो मोबाइल हमको चाहिए? तो मेन रीजन कि वैलो मोबाइल के अंदर टेंसेंट की ओनरशिप है। पबजी मोबाइल के साथ जो हुआ इंडिया में, उसके बाद बीजीएमआई आया, 6-8 महीने के लिए पबजी मोबाइल गायब था, पुराने प्लेयर्स गायब हो गए, अपॉर्चुनिटीज गायब हो गई। एक टाइम पे मेरा चैनल पे ओल्डेस्ट करके अगर तुम स्ट्रीम्स देखोगे ना सब लोग, तुमको दिखेगा मैंने कितनी कास्टिंग कर रखी है पबजी मोबाइल के अंदर। पबजी केआर में भी कास्टिंग की है मैंने, फिर बीजीएमआई में मेरी कास्टिंग खत्म हो गई क्योंकि मैं ब्रेक ले चुका था, मैं पीसी ई स्पोर्ट्स पे पिवट कर चुका था, सब चेंजेस हो गए थे मेरे इसमें। तो मैं कहीं ना कहीं स्ट्रगल कर ही रहा हूँ। आज अगर मैं कर रहा होता पबजी मोबाइल, मेरे को अगर ऑफिशियल स्टेज पे मिला होता, दैट वुड हैव बीन अ क्रेजी टर्निंग पॉइंट फॉर मी। ठीक है, अभी नहीं है तो नहीं है, मेहनत करेंगे और मेहनत करेंगे। इन जैसों के लिए गुस्सा आता है मेरे को। जेडी मार रही है भाई, जेडी अच्छा खेल रही है, टचवुड जेडी बहुत अच्छा खेल रही है। TLNP Zidane स्टार्ट लॉकडाउन, ड्रोन तोड़ा। ब्रो माइट हैव बीन इन मेजी और ओशन। ओशन देखो मैं सच बात बताऊं, ओशन के साथ आई हैव कास्टेड पहले, ओशन के साथ मैंने काम कर रखा है। एक ही इवेंट किया है आज तक मैंने ओशन के साथ, ढूंढना पड़ेगा वो कहाँ है। मेजी के साथ तो नहीं किया है, मेजी बाद में आया, बट ओशन के साथ मैंने कर रखा है। मैं बड़ी कास्टर, हाँ ऑब्वियसली मैं कास्टर वेनम ही होता, और आज लोग ठीक है अभी यार, आई डोंट वांट टू रिमेंबर द पास्ट, अपन प्रेजेंट और फ्यूचर पे मेहनत कर रहे हैं। प्रेजेंट और फ्यूचर पे मेहनत कर रहे हैं। देखो प्रेजेंट के अंदर है वो 7-8 लोग मेरे को जो देख रहे हैं एवरेजली, That is good for me. That is actually crazy for me. 2300 सब्सक्राइबर्स है, 150 सब्सक्राइबर लास्ट एक महीने में जुड़े हैं. ओशन का तो 7Cs एरा बढ़िया था, OR एरा सबसे बढ़िया था, ऑरेंज रॉक वाले टाइम पे. जो इंडिया की लाइनअप थी वो #2 आई थी PMWL ईस्ट में, क्रेजी सी. वहीं से तो PUBG मोबाइल बैन हुआ. And we all just went helpless. Actually helpless.
And now they are also forced to slow rotate because we kind of hinted at it at the very beginning, but it's looking like a very
JDG पिछला गेम भी अच्छा खेली, ये गेम में भी जगह अच्छी है. PX से फाइट अगर जीत जाती है तो बहुत अच्छा हो जाएगा इनके लिए.
the POI priority of these zones, as well as gaming gladiators who land over by Clinic, taking these different fights and maybe not playing as passively, right? Deny that from other teams like Aurora, PXX doing something similar. Unfortunately missing out on that first triple take shot though. And while there's going to be a lot of poke pressure that PXS have to put down, it's so that way they can elevate those Evo shields.
This is going to play out a bit different, however. With Crypto being that first round ban, you're going to see the resurgence of Watson. So look how many teams have isolated their pods.
मजा आ रहा है, but actually बता रहा हूँ, कल क्या क्या गेम्स है अपने? कल कुछ गेम्स है या वैलो करें अपन? कल कोई गेम्स है या वैलो करें? 2-3 घंटा वैलो खेलेंगे, नहीं तो फिर और क्या. जैसे ही बोला JDG के पास अच्छा चांस है, JDG खत्म हो गई. डेथ नोट लिख दिया हमने JDG का.
Trying to get the finishing blow because with the amount of ultras, you can expect the TP to come in. Teleports from the other side because staying alive is a priority. Playing ring around the rosy by the knockdown.
क्या क्रेजी डेथ नोट लिखा ना अपन ने JDG का. The moment I said JDG अच्छा खेल सकती है इस गेम के अंदर, पोजी अच्छी है, खत्म. ऑरोरा खत्म.
A good third party from PXX, and a lot of that goes down to the fact that PETA switches from Wraith in game 1 to Alter in game 2, hits the portal through the walls, bypasses so many of those fences, and takes the third party. Verseda, the Seer, Alter, Watson comp. This is perfect for this setup like we were highlighting, and right now they can play from here. You have E36 out on the diagonal, S8UL on the high ground in Garden.
S8UL के पास पोजी अच्छी है.
Are going to hold that north, very similar to what they did in match number 1. Zipline Mafia at Power Grid looks to be hitting a survey beacon to go ahead and get a lot of information on where players are going to be in that quadrant. They can also simultaneously grab the ring console and know which side they want to commit to.
And then get the evac tower that's over by Power Grid, right? So they could just take to the skies and find a faster rotation, which comes in clutch when they get that survey beacon and they know the teams that are forced to play on the edge just based off of the early fight that they were forced to be in.
S8UL holding good spot and zone right now with a higher advantage as well.
Fight now happening over to the choke south of Hammond Labs and AG Global on another similar rotate, and now trading up. It's going to be a 2v2. Having to be careful though, getting some revenge. It's going to be Kiner with RE45. Eating out the nades though is going to be Nate, and he's one of the teams too, also rocking out with the Axel.
And this is difficult, right? Because AG Global was on the low ground. Yanya.
Like करते चलो guys यार, like करते चलो please.
I wasn't here for a long time. I was here for a good time. They do get Zidon back up, and now we swing down the hill on the chase for.
भाई AG वाले को पकड़ने भागा है रे. नेट पकड़ने भागा था. निजुल खत्म.
And Dinos now want a chunk of the action. The 4P, nobody is safe. The griefing is real.
उसके बाद ये आ गई भाई साहब, डायनो आ गई पीछे से. कर दिया जी, थैंक यू. FFUN Cynetic GG के सेन को मारा.
Such a good call out. That's why we saw the Q come out and the Wraith was out of there. Nizul. I mean, what can you do?
भाई क्या ट्रॉफी है ना इनकी, मतलब काइंड ऑफ वो लगता है, शील्ड लगती है. वो रिस्पेक्टेबल शील्ड जैसा लगता है, मस्त लगता है मेरे को तो, विंबलडन की ट्रॉफी जैसा.
literally one shot, but they have the TP just in case.
विंबलडन की रहती है वो किसकी रहती है कोई तो टेनिस टूर्नामेंट की रहती है
Off the void nexus, but looking ahead,
टफ है
it's gonna be real high. We're jumping up. It's gonna be Team Vision who are still inside of this building, playing a lot.
यहाँ तो विजन मर जाएगी
And the speed boost while he's at it. Heard the Mad Maggie wrecking ball too. Could it be a strike? Could it find its way in? Jumping over the crates though, moving on them and breaking their ankles, leaving only Carter.
यहाँ तो विजन मर जाएगी
Carter is up. Carter is flanking. Carter v. Rohai, but Rohai is full health here, and the Seer Q coming in. He can't use his abilities.
लास्ट गाय भाई दूसरा डेथ नोट टीआरएन का बोला ना वीएसएन मर जाएगी वीएसएन जिंदा बच गई
Speed boost forward, right? So why not play inside the building that you already locked down with your own Watson fences? You play that patiently. You play behind the double knockdown.
अब जेडी वर्सेस डॉग रेड इधर डॉग रेड मरने वाली है जेडी मार दी है इधर डॉग रेड मरने वाली है जेडी जाएगी अब अगर फाइट हुई तो
Truly, I mean, AG Global, they're side questing. Niazil fell to the ring, so hopefully they can make it out with enough beds through the north. The Seer attack coming in. Jelly trying to make first contact.
Guys, ready. तीसरा डेथ नोट है
And they're trying to connect. We invest our exhibit to try and find that information, and it does allow Dupe to back up with the team. They want to stay out of the exhibit. And plus, they got to heal up.
No matrix shenanigans when you get the double jump here on the exhibit. The amount of double exhibits that we get a nice little replay here. The side by side while the live action is on the bottom left side of your screen, but it was just so beautiful. You move up, you play safe behind your own Watson fence, and you let it do the rest, the slow down.
टीएल टीम लिक्विड मार रही है भाई गई जिप लाइन लास्ट गेम में विनर्स इस गेम में कुछ नहीं आज एक्चुअली गेम्स लेट हो गए ना नहीं तो 10 साढ़े 10 तक 4 गेम खत्म हो जाते आज बहुत लेट हो गया
Well, if you remember what happened in match number 1 with Team Liquid, it was Zeddy had rotated in and they were trying to contest Team Liquid for the north. They fell to Zeddy. So Zipline, that was unfortunate. For AG Global, they had a really difficult thing here going just in the mid-map. They have Ty on the other side. Resources are down 9% until we get a pylon. But I think Yanya is trying to make a portal play behind them and into the void, past the frag grenade, and under the stairs we go.
Wait, that was really smart. Good timing on the Seer attack right there to get the slice.
ओए एजी गई एजी जोन से जाएगी एजी जोन से जाएगी वेरी लेट यस सर हाँ आज नींद आ रही है पता नहीं क्यों मतलब रोज मैं नहीं सोता बट 2 दिन से एक्चुअली नींद नहीं हुई है परसों राउंड ऑफ 16 के मैचेस देख रहा था कल पता नहीं क्यों नींद नहीं आई आज लेट उठा इसके लिए जेस्को ने पाइट को नॉक किया है जेडी मार रही नहीं होगा टीम लिक्विड गई जेडी अच्छा मार रही है जेडी बहुत अच्छा मार रही है विजन भी गायब WGR नियो भी गायब
They come out on top and they clear the southeastern side of zone. It's really going to probably be Gaming Gladiators versus Dinos eventually, especially with the zone closing in the next 20 seconds.
WGR Neo has fallen as well during that engagement.
अपन कहाँ हैं जोन में भाई
LNP are looking
ब्लडी दिख रहा है
5 kills
लेफ्ट साइड
thus far this match. Man, Nasty really wasn't kidding when he said he was going out there to coach and these boys were going to turn it around.
सेटिंग खुल जा भवा
Allez France, they say. TLNP. When it matters, with 4KP to their name and 11 squads left, this is how you start things up for a team that is desperately clawing their way up into the overall standings, avoiding the bottom 6 You can currently see Tail NP now moving back just a little bit. I'm seeing the sniper shots from afar. Gaming Gladiators taking shots at them. Dog Red.
आज से क्वार्टर फाइनल स्टाइल में वो भी देख पाऊंगा आज तो। डायनोस भी गायब हो गई।
Over to the south side of this zone. It's pulling directly on top of Guardians. A different look here. Now you have the exhibit. They fully accept.
इधर TLNP गायब हो जाएगी।
Pretty healthy until Blask sends out that nade and
बोला ना TLNP गायब है।
the rest of Pirates.
जोन का प्रेशर था।
Gaming Gladiators have isolated their backs to the fence.
It's a matter of timing as Dog Red now peeks out in Lufka, holding steady, and they move forward, invests the tactical. The exhibit we're still holding. We want the exhibit as a backup plan for our next fights. We can do this without it.
डॉगरेड भी गई।
And they take him down.
डॉगरेड भी गई।
The way of Gaming Gladiators, but job's not done. Interforce 36 is
मस्त गेम हो रहा है भाई।
on this side of the circle, just underneath.
8 गेम 24 प्लेयर्स, 8 टीम्स 24 प्लेयर्स, सॉरी 8 गेम। It is showing that मैं कितना नींद में हूँ।
Popping the shield bat is going to be Nags, looking behind, setting up the fences, painting the floors here before sliding up, getting that follow-up here onto Pita, before diving in and jumping into the Void Passage. Hold on, I love this repositioning that we're currently seeing after Tyler was able to put the number advantage in favor for fun. Zeddy, though, are seeing this fight. They don't want to overextend because easily, with the way that the zone is pulling, they don't want to give up this space for Zeta Division to walk up for free. I don't expect them to give up their own building too.
Oh, yeah.
Portal, but he's looking for he's looking for the kidnap tip.
Give me it.
The behind the no way! He knew he was gonna try to do it. I don't know if it was a bait to allow his teammates to actually move up from the other side of the building. I heard the sound cue.
भाई ये अच्छा था। वो एक बंदे को उठाने के लिए 2 बंदों को पुश करवा रहा है ऊपर।
They know if this fight breaks out, someone is likely going to send it nearby. For fun, situated in
Ring closing.
in the middle of the survival stage. PXX 27. Interforce 36 in
बूस्टिंग अप भाई, बूस्ट होके ऊपर जा रहे।
They get the lay of the land here at Gardens.
Where is it safe? E36. They get the scans and they see the rooftops. They want to stop this team from taking control over the building. But you have to look behind you too. Literally splitting their
E36 भी गायब हो रही है।
get eliminated because now everybody has to move in. E36. Synap actually being able to have
जेटा मार रही भाई। जेस्को गेट्स डीसीजी का एक प्लेयर शाउसन।
They need to get these heals off and Obli is being picked up. Synap with the comms here. You have to be so confident in those plays and they staple it. Even
क्या गेम भाई, S8UL क्या खेल रही है।
the Valve player, the perfect one to do it with the jetpack to be able to go up and let the Devo eat. The teammates going to have to provide support.
और 2-3 फ्रैग्स मिलने चाहिए यहाँ से भाई साहब। 17 प्लेयर अलाइव है ना, कम से कम 5 फ्रैग तो यहाँ से खींच सकते हैं। जेडी भी अच्छा खेल रही है। चलो इंटरफोर्स गई। जिसको 1v3 वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, तभी तो बोला क्या मार रहा है भाई। दिखा दो, हमारी भी फाइट दिखा दो। जेडी का एक नॉक।
Literally the bloodbath here as Yuka. Oh no, you gotta look behind you just in case. He fully sent it, seeing red after playing safe for so long. But sometimes we all get a little angsty here. With Zeta Division not leaving that northern building of Garden since the very beginning of the game. Same thing could honestly be said of S8UL. Playing into their composition of the Seer, Watson, and Ultra that you mentioned, Tiff. The Watson being so important.
150 का डैमेज तो ऐसा पड़ता है ये स्नाइपर से।
Infinite ammo, you just let it sing.
What is with me? Every time I see a Kraber shot connect, I just let a little giggle.
Oh my, that would have been insane. That would have been insane actually. Off the kidnap. Kraber, Yuka's feeling himself.
ओए
Please, I need more. I need more Kraber shots. Show me your.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you also going to destroy the pylon. So that's another thing they're working on, which is great. If you have a Kraber, tons of damage going out.
जिसको नॉक है शायद।
You're like, there is a Kraber in the lobby confirmed. At what point
नहीं,
do we rotate?
मेरे को लगा जिसको नॉक है, सॉरी।
We have the pylon. We drop the exhibit. Oh my goodness. Jelly is sliding in. Full sending straight.
जेडी वाले जेटा पे गए हैं। जेटा वर्सेस जेडी का गेम 1-1 दोनों का नॉक। जेटा का एक और गया पर थर्ड पार्टी एफएफयू इनकी आ गई और जेटी गायब। 3v3 3v3 फॉर अस। एक नॉक, दूसरा भी लो। अबे यार खुद नॉक हो गए। नहीं यार, विनर था अपने लिए ये। वी कुड हैव बीन द चैंपियन इन दिस गेम। अच्छा खेले, अच्छा खेले, अच्छा खेले, अच्छा खेले, अच्छा खेले। नो वरीज। ये बंद हो, तू लेके वीडियो पे आ जा। अच्छा खेले, एंटी एंटी एंटी, बहुत बढ़िया खेले। ठीक है, फ्रैग्स अच्छे थे इसमें। पांच फ्रैग्स थे, बढ़िया। हम 9th पे आ गए हैं। अब नेमेसिस से फैल्कन्स तक ऊपर जा सकते हैं। इजीली टॉप 4 की एंट्री हो सकती है अगले गेम तक। लिक्विड भी अच्छा खेल रही है ना एक्चुअली। लिक्विड टॉप 3 में 125 के साथ। लिक्विड इज प्लेइंग गुड। ऑल गेमर्स ग्लोबल भी है लॉबी के अंदर, बट अच्छा खेल रहे हैं हम लोग। ऐसा नहीं है नहीं खेल रहे। एक पॉइंट और जेडी और अपन दोनों में 7 पॉइंट का डिफरेंस है। आरआरक्यू टॉप 14 से बाहर। निंजास इन पजामास टॉप 14 से बाहर। वुल्व्स ई स्पोर्ट्स ठीक ठाक है। ऊपर से जेटा नीचे से ऊपर आ सकती है। जेटा कैन स्टिल कम बैक। जेडी गेमिंग अच्छा खेल भी ले तो 2-3 उनको प्रॉपर विनर्स चाहिए। भाई इतना भसड़ एक्चुअली मजा आ जाता है बे। एक दिन में 2 ग्रुप्स खेलते ना, मजा आता है साला। बीजीएमआई में ए वर्सेस बी वर्सेस सी वर्सेस डी ऐसा खेलते तो समझता ही नहीं है कि क्या होगा, किसके साथ होएगा। ये लोग के जैसा सीखना चाहिए वो लोग को। ये लोग अच्छा करते हैं स्केड्यूल, मस्त है। अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ। फॉर रियल अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ ये। B1 to B8 चल रहा है। चौदह पॉइंट्स है ये गेम में, बढ़िया। इधर एनआरजी मार रही है मेट को। सारे गेम्स एक साथ चल रहे, देख लो। सारे के सारे गेम्स एक साथ चल रहे।
The fact is, we are champions winning IGLs facing off against each other. I don't think Starzo was IGL when he won. We ignore that. We ignore that because it doesn't sound quite as nice.
अच्छा पहला मैप पेमेंट निकाल गई थी।
That's what I've heard, yeah.
We miss you, man.
There's different stories about that, but 11-9 for NRG. The lead, there's a big round in the previous, sets them up. I mean, at this point, they are teed up. They're on the green. Just got to tap it in.
इसमें तुम लोगों को एबिलिटीज नहीं दिखेगी अगर मैंने कैम यहाँ रख दिया तो। तो इसका कैम, इसके लिए कैम यहाँ होना चाहिए।
No big ultis to save them. No blade storm there. No run it back.
हर गेम के लिए कैम पोजीशंस चेंज करनी पड़ती है।
So NRG, I like this late round. They've looked for a bit of map control. They've looked for a fight. They've seen nothing. And now you start to think, okay, there's either one big trap with a big stack being set somewhere, or there's many traps along the way. Regardless, they've got a drone to clear out their troubles. They should be using it, but instead they're going up.
वो कांटेक्ट में मार दिया माड़ा ने।
I guess if you can do that, that also works very well.
इन्फो बोट हाउस की भी रहेगी। पागल हो गया है माडा। बड़ 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 बड़।
Supposed to be dangerous, but he makes it look incredibly easy. Mark 12 looks inevitable. Not much to play with. Mada with another.
Third one for Mada, bye.
Back to having to run it back online. And for Martin and Beepo, there almost has to be a question of how much do we want to risk him getting his ult? Evidently they do.
Oh, that risk not paying off for mates. Orbs being gifted, and look who's running it down to try to close this out. They're leaving it. They're leaving it for
सब जगह आ गया।
But Kiko finally had to pull the trigger. Still, a big round for NRG, a big round from Mada. And for Gentlemates, well, that spark of hope now being snuffed out in this round. It is obviously somewhere that
भाई इनका एम ऐसा लगता है ना हेड की तरफ अट्रैक्ट होता है। ऐसी तो ट्रेसिंग है इनकी, ये देखो। जिसमें मारा के 11 ही प्रैक थे, 4 तो ये राउंड में मारा है।
No, and that's what you want to see from him. It wasn't the greatest of games thus far, but they are firmly in the lead. Mini, this is a spicy spot. A flash could leave him in trouble. The dash activated. Spidey senses tingling, but they
भाई खा गए भाई एनर्जी वाले।
Deadly double duelist decimated within the first few seconds of the round, and well, it seems like the curse of winning both pistols might be the curse that comes through in this map. Not something I ever expected to say out loud, but evidently both teams needing to be on the back foot in order to show their true potential. And just look at the patience from NRG. Now, there is a timing caught by Beepo. The second they look away is when he strikes, and there's one. Not quite able to get the second, but he's at least made it interesting.
Beepo's 15 now. That pick put him positive after a really slow start. In the corner here, Stars, oh, he had a chance, but Ethan running circles around him, but now caught by the trip, will be deleted by Beepo. The everyman hero on this squad. Prox with a wonderful wall bang, but he'll be left alone. They have to come his way. 15 seconds, and the plant needing to be found here and now. A jump in from Scuba locks in the map. We're going all the way to 3 as NRG refuse to falter.
इधर भाई एनर्जी जीत गई है। यहाँ अपना गेम चालू होने वाला है।
I know these zone pools, the back-to-back has been very similar. We have to see if anything's changed up though. As we get ready to go on game 3, I'm hearing the crowd get even louder as this day has progressed. And I'm ready as well as Tiff, because with these teams feeling the risk, they know that they have to get a lot more aggressive to secure that KP on top of the dub.
Our final match of Olympus here in the group stages of ALGS Split 1 playoffs is just now getting underway. We got to kick things off with For Fun, your prior map winners, and see basically how things, you know, the looting pass, right? We're going to pick up the EVA 8 Sentinel. Okay, nice. I like that. We're over at Terminal here. You do have access to a ring console in which Tyler will likely get that information shortly to see where we need to full send.
Man.
Oh, this looks familiar.
That's why I started laughing.
Stop laughing. It's not funny.
I mean, another southern, southeast zone pool, but it's, you know, at least it's not directly on top of Gardens. It's going to be a Somers University zone. I mean, I feel like I'm living in a parallel dream with the way that we've been seeing these zones pool towards the outskirts of Somers University, and the teams that are already quickly on their road take your tip. Dinos, as per usual, going through terminal.
No ring console here for Team Liquid. They've only got a survey beacon, so they'll just have to rotate on the information. But hold on, we've got a standoff, and Dinos say, all right, bye, see you later. You guys can have the loot here. We don't need it. Back they go straight towards Dockyards, where, well...
Game begun, guys. Game begun.
Wait for them. TL Pirates, likely going to run straight into Dinos alongside WGR Neo, who hail from Hydroponics. They also have some information in the likes of a survey beacon from there. And let's keep our eyes. Terminal did have that ring console, so you do know For Fun Esports already made their way over to Summers.
We're quick with the rotate too. I mean, look even at Aurora, right? And noting how they've been playing already over the course of these last 2 games means that they're going to be playing more so on the edge, try to isolate more of these fights and clear their backs too if they do decide to commit to these fights. Trinity, who have the scan over by Bonsai as well as the ring console, are moving through Icarus, where they will have to collapse on Aurora and TLNP. Over on the other side of Terminal, we saw Dinos, they dipped quickly when they felt the pressure from TIE. And now Pirates holding the other side of that fight. And Dino now getting a little bit of revenge, looking at WGR Neo. They fully send it here. The kickstart, though, is locked in. Ooh, talk about the portal, though, to avoid getting hit by that. That was beautiful, by the way, off the Void Passage. Jay Future now backing away, zooming down off the Nitro Gate. And it's the way that they're trying to time these fights because they know the third party was in the vicinity. They didn't want to fully send out because now Neo get away and Pirates are right behind them.
Here's the deal, though. We were just talking about Aurora and how they need a massive comeback, and we find them pitted between 2 teams. Zach Mazer over there on Team Vision with the Rampage just fully sent onto effect. Doesn't matter that we're situated on all white shields. We've got the breach charge, we've got an altar portal, and we're just gonna try to cause some chaos. Now, I do want to note that Mad Maggie has a 95% pick rate, 19 Maggies in the lobby. So keep your tabs on Watson's pylons and Mad Maggie drills because they're gonna be everywhere.
And welcome the baby comp into Storm.
Just a second, guys.
It's gonna mean we're gonna have an influx of Gibbies with Mad Maggies not in the lobby. No Wrecking Ball to be a threat to that dome, while Vision being a threat to Aurora. Oh my goodness, Oi Ring can catch a break. Being able to boost up into that blue Evo to also get that next perk here for Zach, but notice how they're not trying to overextend. Why is that? Because they know other teams, North of Summers, are looking to 3P this. For Fun being right behind them here, and Aurora still trying to stay alive while Zach do close in the gap. Giving away some of the space and beaming Harako now, and the Rampage is singing, charged up. White knockdown isn't going to do too much here because it's a cleanup on aisle 3. Aurora is the first team out, and they are a threat of elimination.
Aurora गायब.
Overall on the standings here with 17 points, and with their first fight done here, you have to keep tabs on what that lay of the land looks like. You see for Fun in the highlights over there, just north of them. Enterforce 36 on the other side as well. Trinity will be the next team looking to rotate in through the south side toward Team Vision.
I just can't believe this. The fact that Aurora has 54 total points over the course of this entire group stage, and now they have only 3 games to go. They're sitting in 35th. Bottom 6 teams out of over 40 teams will be going home, and Zeta, who doesn't really have that concern. Mike is going to be able to heal up. It's a reset while Yuka's going to try to cover his back. Holding up to the high ground while round 1 is closing in. There's a lot of these teams, though, who are going to be piled up on the northern side of the zone. Team Liquid will eventually show face through the choke that Zeta's holding.
It's kind of scary for them, making their way finally down from Elysium. Slightly slower, but that's because you have to base everything on timing from other teams since you did not have that ring console.
Whoa.
For GG, had some, decent games here inside the top 10. They already won one of their group series earlier this week, so they're situated quite nicely on the overall standings of our group stages. For Fun, your match 2 winners there. Quick look at them as we see what exactly happened to Aurora. The positioning from Trinity and Team Vision just sandwiching, and that is just a tough place to be in.
Speed run of a highlight reel there, but I mean, that's what happens. Wondering what's going on with Aurora, what's going on with the comms here.
Just a minute, guys. काम हो गया मेरा.
After Aurora welcome him
And so working and streaming and doing everything together is a tough job, man. Let's go.
Also having a slow start comparatively to their performance in our other
SDL 20 points के साथ अगर एक भी जीतते हैं 32 और 10-15 फ्रैग्स के साथ ही जीतेंगे.
For so many of these zone pulls, it's unfortunate because Kazak is not going down without a fight alongside the rest of his team. I mean, it's just round 1. They could afford this, but slowing down just a little bit, having to be careful. The Wrecking Ball slams into him. It's a back-to-back slowdown. But do you really want to overextend this? Because there's literally 4 other teams that could show face. Zeddy, Pirates, who put down the portal so that way they could reset if they have to in Terminal. They show face. Zipline Mafia kind of stuck playing inside the zone while DCG now move up. They take to the skies, and this is the beauty of some of these teams having the Valkyrie.
And
क्या हुआ
Mafia, those teams they're highlighting down below.
मेरे को लगा किसी ने चैट लिखी
We're back into the south. It's WGR Neo making a play on
TRN गई
goals to fall. And we're looking for the full if we can.
एक-एक करके प्लेयर्स जा रहे हैं सारे
And Trinity disengages out towards the west and just starts running, looking for a regain.
चटक लिए ट्रिनिटी वाले
Definitely hear this and try to get involved. But with it just Rohak is actually Grase's down.
It's tough to be a Trinity fan here too. Playing the Sparrow and looking to see if he could get his teammates back up. And Neo too, playing on the edge, trying to go back to Icarus. That's not going to be great for Trinity if he could try to get the reset. Team Vision have been harassing them, but it's even better when you have that Void Nexus ready behind Team Vision, just so that way the two other members of Vision who are looking to get ahead and find this KP can go right back to that one player who's holding it down on the edge of this next zone pool on Sommers.
I love that those two went and just like looted and they had like
SDL के पास जो जोन का एज है so that is a good thing northern side है पूरी but अंदर जो जोन के अंदर वाला जो रिंग बना रिंग के अंदर वाली जो रिंग बनी हुई है वो थोड़ी सी टफ बनी हुई है यार उसमें बहुत बंदे हैं उसमें बहुत ज्यादा बंदे हैं
have fallen. Another game does not go
Trinity गया that means 3 मैप खत्म हो चुके हैं Trinity के आज के
But with only 3 games to go, it's getting a little hot in the arena, and a lot of these pros are feeling the pressure now, moving up, seeing if they could get that third player over by Bonsai. Pirates are going to be really the only one in Stace's array who will clear this res while Team Vision hold that southwestern side of Sommers. They're not going to move from that spot, and I really agree with them too with the way that the pile-up is looking like for the teams coming in from the north side, and that's still without ignoring the Valkyrie teams who could easily fly over and find that free building south of Sommers that is still available for some of these teams.
Keeping your eyes out, looking towards the survey beacon. Maybe we can get access to it and start our rotate in. Zeddy just out towards the north of them for now. This
Ankita is there on the venue.
WGR Neo does get a full
Ankita was on the venue.
in the south, and Dog Red, well, frag indicators are real. Fights breaking out into the north. S8UL and Gaming Gladiators trying to fight this.
There's Dog Red who's stuck in the middle too, while Zipline's still trying to find their journey outside of.
अगर गेमिंग ग्लैडिएटर्स को मार दिया तो एसडीएल के पास चांस है कि उनसे ऊपर जा सकते हो इस गेम में.
And it's the fight for the Mythic Bin, which is where S8UL are holding their ground, while AG also in some trouble, but Hagwadis was able to get some retaliation, forcing Dino now to try to get a reset.
Dino गायब हो रही है धीरे धीरे.
I love this call from AG as Hagwadis yeets out the nades, finishes off DJ in the process, and they could hear floating in the vicinity Chaos. Just waiting patiently right behind his own gen because he's got the TP. He's going to be able to bring his teammates.
Revive हो जाएंगे.
AG
Global गायब.
Say the same because creeping about was floating. You saw the
AG तो गई, अब जीजी के जाना जरूरी है. गेमिंग ग्लैडिएटर्स का जाना जरूरी है. अगर जीजी एलिमिनेट हो जाती है तो एसडीएल के लिए बढ़िया है.
He really said, get me involved. And you have to grab as many kills as possible. JD Gaming still just hanging out above the elimination stage. And like I've said, it will be down to the likelihood of 1 kill, Vicky. So get every kill, every finish that you possibly can. TLNP on 17 points for our series. The Battle of the South likely to break out. You can see Dinos on the horizon, but really our threats are WGR Neo. Drop an evac tower. Or are we going to go straight towards Summers University? Because we've got to get ahead of a couple of teams, but I don't know how much space will be available at this time. There's still so many teams up.
And that's why you
भाई वो स्टेयर्स के बीच के गैप से मार रहा है लेगेसी. क्या क्रेजी खेला.
Even if you have the Valkyrie, you get the information, but after losing out on your shield, that's what's detrimental when Ring 3 is closing behind you.
क्या अच्छा फ्रैग था ये.
Was able to get the Kraber and the infinite ammo when they had the Mythic Bin right there on top of Grow Towers. Everybody takes to the sky when they have the Valkyrie composition. Gaming Gladiators, even TIE though,
मैं तो बोलता हूँ TIE और गेमिंग ग्लैडिएटर्स दोनों गायब होने चाहिए। जेस्को ने एक और मारा और TIE का ही मारा।
Putting in the pressure and now having to play off the corner. Nothing to see here. Maybe hoping that S8UL will fixate their attention on PXX because Eddie are also fighting on the other side.
And here comes S8UL. PXX, you're right, across the way. I think with this Kraber.
छुप गया वो last player. That last player hid himself actually एक अच्छे एरिया पे.
Don't look at me, please. PXX get eliminated. The fact that the solo stays alive is another thing.
They're looking, they're hunting.
They're trying to prevent this res though. Seti now, having to be careful, playing off the back end up to
भाई दो इंडियन टीम्स की लड़ाई काइंड ऑफ इंडियन ऑक्स की लड़ाई. जेडी के लग गए. जेडी के लग गए. जेडी के लग गए. बोला ना जेडी बहुत प्यारा खेली लेकिन जेडी S8UL के सामने कुछ नहीं कर पाई.
They had to have heard that. They had to. Legacy then gets the follow, finds F-Chan. He gets the revenge off the Kraber shot.
Legacy ने
Hearing that, they were so close
FTN को मार दिया.
But after hearing that res, they deviate their attention right back.
डायनो के और प्लेयर्स एलिमिनेट.
That they were originally fighting.
Back up on your feet, F-Chan, you go. They drop a pylon, they focus on healing, and dang, that is crazy. That pip just goes to show you where that circle is pulling, and for fun esports. They've got a position in that next circle.
E36 ठीक ठाक खेल रही.
Finish Zane with a Watson fence.
They think they're Picasso, the way that they're painting the entire map with these Watson fences. Oh my god! That disappeared, man. No evac tower, unfortunate, as Legacy also drops like a hot potato. Can they get out with the reclosing in? Jatsko, they fully
भाई S8UL फिर चली गई. जेडी रिवाइव हो गया.
What kind of communication was that? They could have put down the portal, they could have gone through the wall with the void passage, and now S8UL getting eliminated. Clears things up for the one solo of TIE. To keep the dream alive, Liquid and JD Gaming are hungry. They feast upon
TIE भी गई.
solo out and panic follows up to get
अपने भी 3 मैचेस खत्म हो चुके हैं गाइस.
Shields ripped apart, bats coming out, and the pressure is still on Team Liquid. JD Gaming with the positioning. Look at where Floating is trying to take an angle. The Maggie ball yeets panic to the side, and down he goes.
If you see this, we are #2 right now. लेकिन अपना ये #2 खतरे में है अभी के लिए.
The fact that you're still seeing these knocks after Liquid get eliminated. What are these squad wipes? Everybody
सब एक दूसरे को बजाने पे तुले हुए भाई.
gets a little sneaky here on the other side of zone. Did hear that they got the res. That's why he didn't want to show his face too. He saw that maybe he could have had an opportunity. As Akba though also trying to have the opportunity to find Zeta, who are playing right underneath them, but look behind you, you may not hear it, especially with the drill is right to your back. Forced to drop down too with the ring being right close.
11 teams, 27 players. We are halfway done to the last day of this group and group stage as well. Group stage का तो भाई I would say more than 70% game खत्म हो चुका है.
In that next circle, DJ Killa, those shots that are coming through, Zipline Mafia from the high ground on the west side, playing around TLN Pirates and Enter Force 36. We come over here and Team Vision wiped for fun.
It's a tough situation to be in while Team Vision, who have been holding that entire southern side of zone for so long, especially playing off of the ultra.
विजन नियो को मार रही है, मतलब WGR नियो भी गई. जेटा का बंदा दो बंदे नॉक है. भाई जेडी जी अच्छा खेल रही है रे. गेमिंग ग्लैडिएटर्स भी गई.
From him, and remember, JD Gaming need all the points that they need. Breaking down the perimeter fence line though, and you can hear the pings. With Stay Naughty now in some trouble, needs suppress fire, and Floating has the wingman in hand.
We lost out on a few.
6 टीम 18 प्लेयर 6 सेकंड में जोन बंद हो रहा है.
That's okay, because JDG's looking to send themselves into the top 5. The pressure is eating the wingman. 50-50-50. Zipline Mafia fresh off a rotation. Go towards TF.
Final circle.
Force 36. But to the low
55 seconds.
And right there, Kazakh up on the height. Nate sends the portal. Xenon goes up, and down goes Nate.
The abduction!
Oh.
They're forced to go down too. I mean, they felt the pressure.
भाई क्या util usage है?
Get that knock originally. Now Zidane is forced to play off the lip of this fence line. Playing off the head glitch from both sides too, but having to take a different angle away from Kazakh's point of view.
Oh no.
RE45, but he has to get through all the knockdown shields just enough to be the nail in the coffin.
The shits are crazy. TLN Pirates भी गई.
4 KP, so still points on the board, but it's Zeta at the top of the series for Olympus thus far. We're healthy. We're near center of circle, but you have to keep so many eyes out across the board. Enter Force 36 potentially facing elimination, but this big game can start to turn things around.
Purple Perk forced in app and evac tower to try to take onto the high ground, while Zipline Mafia are down to it with the zone closing in. It prevents Kazakh from being able to reset, from being able to get the res. Zeta understand the situation. They're playing alongside the bins as well as the gen. They hear the fighting here as Shady Gaming floating, taking a different off angle. They have 6 total KP for this entire team, trying to elevate themselves as Sasuke is going to be able to find Carter. E36 getting it.
JDG अभी भी मार रही है. ऐसा लगा था JDG गायब हो जाएगी. Vision गायब.
Team Vision wrapping behind the
Zeta.
They'd be next. He's going crazy. He misses out on some of those wingman shots, which means he misses out on getting the 2 KP as Justin picks that up.
An arc star knocks down 2 members of Zeta, and JDG.
Zipline Mafia भी गई.
The top 2 we go. E36 and JDG. The teams at risk of going home are giving it everything.
What did they see floating? As 2 squads gaming.
भाई पागल हो गया ये floating.
Floating. They have 10 total KP. It's up to stay nutty. L-Star in hand, playing up the knockdown. Only 1 member left.
JD Gaming निकाल गई.
At the very last second, they take the final game on Olympus. They are your Game 3 winners.
भाई कहाँ?
There's a reason that we are so hyped talking about this team. 2nd seed from Americas. 15 kills that game. I lied, sorry, that was dramatic. 13 kills. My bad, still 6 though.
Still insane.
Still good though.
Like what?
25 points. A team at risk of going home. Do you know how massive 25 points is for that?
भाई
When you were on the later half of the overall standing,
Aurora गायब.
It's massive too.
डॉगरेट गायब हो सकती है. ऑरोरा तो गायब हो ही रही है. TLN Pirates भी जाएगी. Heretics बच जाएगी.
Looking at Zach, the trade-off after floating came in for the flank, by the way.
Yo, floating is cracked. Like, floating is so cracked. It has been so sick to witness the comeback. And dude, we've been following Shubi.
S8UL second हो गई.
Do you remember like the lone standing Bangalore from Challenger Circuit that was just full sending everything? It is a true grind. And how long? Naughty. First land IGLing. I mean, look, this is Vicky and I's last cast for the group series, mind you. And I'm so curious. So I'm going to say it here live. Grace, Snipe. Y'all said JDG was going to be one of the teams.
Bro, S8UL का position is now second.
What's gonna happen when you have somebody like floating in a perfect flow state?
Game end होने के बाद.
Go around the outside of zone just so that way he can sneak up with the pop off, the side by side. I love the energy that we're here seeing, and Stay Naughty taking just a deep breath of relief.
But it's just such the dynamics between both of them, because you know when you have that, knowing that you both need all of the points there at the end. 25 points. Look, JDG guys was 1 point outside of the bottom 6.
Yep.
They just kept toggling. We were out of it, but not by much. And you throw 25 points down, that moves you 7, 8 positions up. And sure, you might have to fight through that survival stage, but if it took a bit long to get warmed up on land, you might need that.
I mean, when you go from game number 2, the first team to go out of the lobby was JD Gaming. And now you move on to our final game on Olympus, game number 3, and you end up not only taking the double with double-digit KP. And it also goes hand in hand that at least in match 1, they finished in top 3 with 10 KP, even though going on after that game 2, you're the first team to go out. You still were able to get double-digit KP nonetheless in that first game. Now you get the dub when you need it before we transition onto Storm Point.
I mean, I'm just looking at the stats right now. 23 kills in 3 games. Floating's responsible for 10 of them. Naughty has 7, Shubi 6, but Floating has done almost 5k damage. He's the one player on that team with a positive damage differential, and it's 1,500.
Wow.
That man deals out so much more damage than he takes. So not only good at getting kills, but he's evasive.
It's actually insane the way that he could frag out and also reposition himself. Because it's really important, right? It's all about that positioning and the way that you try to take some of these fights. And Floating was cheeky in that last game, whether it be creeping about, taking out the last member of AG Global, playing on the outskirts of the ring so that way you could go in for a flanking position, and constantly getting away with it is what you like to see. Because now as we change maps, it's about carrying that momentum when you have a different look of the POI draft. Hearing that we got an interview ready on the floor, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got so much more action here within the ALGS. I want to hear it from our desk.
At the halfway point of this group stage on the final day, we still have time, but it is running out. I'm joined by Effect here from Aurora Gaming. Effect, I don't have to sit here and tell you, obviously, the scenario that you guys are in and the scenario that everyone else in this arena is in. But
game number 4 in some time, boys.
Incredible players, but what has it been about this LAN that's made it such a challenge?
I don't really have anything to say, like much to say. I have no idea. It's just our first LAN and first time getting used to playing like the way Yarka plays, the way we play in zone. So that's it, just the experience.
As I've been saying, motivated within the comms and staying positive in like this uphill battle that you're in right now.
I'm staying like neutral. I don't have like that much of emotions or anything. A little bit sad, of course. Don't want to go out.
SRG 4-0 आगे है. जब तक ये गेम नहीं लगता ये वाला गेम लगा देते हैं.
Seems to be turning to gold. Even the one on Testazo there leaves him low. It feels like the mates need a hero to arise to bring them back from the depths. They've got themselves an ult to play with. Again, Martin's a one and done. Do they throw in the Nightfall here? Oh, they don't have a choice anymore. They've already lost the player, and because of that, the Nightfall goes back the other way. And a nice attempt from Prox, but it's only the one. And left out to just Beepo, but he's brought it back. A chance. The spam not quite connected, but he gets there in the end.
मैं जैसे ही आता हूँ, एनआरजी
darkest of places. And Gentlemates are on the board.
Now that's something I didn't know I'd get to see.
French team है ना, इतनी DME की team है.
A man who came in, a lot of eyes on him on this roster, and not a lot with a positive note to say about him. But here he is, in this series alone. He's had so many rounds where he has been the one to put.
Mada is still in 3. Brock is also playing good.
Towards the end of Ascent, at a point dragged a terrible performance into positive territory. He's been doing the work. The first round for Mates comes off his back. Scuba standing his ground.
एक और मार सकता था Scuba. Martin की इसे देख के पपल गया.
For the defense, advantage for NRG. And it looks to be getting even better. Martin down to half.
Oh, and again, Marta give him a shot. Guarantee a kill. Nice Prox back in response. Now he does have the TP available.
2v3
जो
जो कि हो गया 1v3.
And this is the moment, just opting out, wanting to try and reset. But the fact is, NRG
अब 1v3 में अकेले जाके थोड़ी बुंड देंगे.
Has put that spike down, a reposition, but Ethan seems well aware of it. Just waiting to clear this man together. Needs a couple of crispy shots.
Brock भी like अभी अब मैं वापस ओडिन ले लूँगा.
They didn't give him a hope in hell of winning out that round. It is a blip.
Kiko भी like
and then right back to
मैं ओडिन उठा के आता हूँ.
And keep in mind, it was
वो half defuse करके रख.
Coming out of round 3, they tried
to उठा के आता हूँ, ठीक है.
towards the C site. It didn't work.
ओडिन भी नहीं उठा रहे.
And from the second that the first fight went down on that B site and Mini slid in to see 3 players there, they realized that they had been red. This time around, it's NRG towards that A main position where in the same round I was just referencing, they had all the info because of the jump peek from Mata, because they were being given that space early. Well, now they see their opponents fight for it, and so they step back. Ethan plays towards the stairs. They have Scuba in the tree, and they're ready to pounce the second that the push comes in. Unlucky, I think, for Mates that they use their showstopper, and it ends up being needed as a trade. They didn't think someone would be standing as close to the door when it was broken open. But this level of success is very worrying to see for NRG early on. With a low buy here for Mates, it should be 6-1.
Yeah, that was the one gun they had. Stars at least will be able to retrieve it, but the Marder show continues. It's safe to say that you go back to London, even some of the earlier games in this tournament, and he wasn't lighting the world on fire. Especially in London, it was Kiko having to drag them kicking and screaming, but when this man is on, he is a terrifying force to be reckoned with. And he's been nothing short of perfection so far in this map.
I'll find you.
For the Mates in this round, yeah, sure, you've got a Nightfall, but will you want to use it? I think especially not now. They are being
माडा भी like मेरे सामने इस मैप पे नहीं, इस मैप पे मैं मार रहा हूँ.
by the giant that is NRG.
Last player standing.
माडा पागल हो गया है.
Got blips on the radar, but they quickly fade to black.
Blippo.
Blippo. Oh goodness, there's no need for the guy. The guy's having a good series.
No, that's what I mean. He won the round, so for them it was a Blippo. I think that's a fantastic pun that you're not giving enough credit to.
Yeah, I'm just saying, people start calling him Blippo all of a sudden. It's going to be on you. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm here saying he's a great guy. He's doing his job. I like him.
I agree.
And I will say he's a player I've liked seeing grow on this roster as well. I understand the criticism that came his way towards the start of his tenure, but I don't think it's justified anymore.
It's been a good role swap.
Yeah.
But is there more left to show? 6-1 down. Mini also struggling. Martin not quite had one of those highlights. And honestly, like, Prox is the one that's chugging along, but
फिर से push.
Haven't held much value just yet.
Bro, कम से कम एक या दो मारेगा. एक तो मार ही दिया.
Already, Brock has taken out Starzone.
Just the immediate ult popped as well.
Okay.
And he's died through the smoke.
Recon.
Quite a shot by Prox. It's quietly chugging along, you said, and well, that is certainly something. Deep sight take with the blast packs, they've made it in.
I know exactly where you are.
The info there off the back of it, NRG have to just hide. Plant should be found. The question is, do Mates get greedy and go pushing?
एक राउंड और देखता हूँ, उसके बाद ALGS चलेंगे.
Fight from at the moment. And with the showstopper likely to come towards them on the retake, NRG are playing this very passive, I believe, for that exact reason. They needed to show some presence. Okay, the showstoppers popped early, but they're being contained, and that shot from Mata is pixel perfect. Prox, I think caught. No, he made it through the door. He's able to at least provide a bit of support for Bebo, and it's going to be
Oh, Bebo!
Bebo! The silent assassin of this squad! He goes quiet, but my God, he chooses his moments!
दूसरा राउंड.
Take me through the mindset of what could be happening with that squad right now, Grace.
I mean, you heard it himself.
गेम चालू नहीं हुआ अभी तक.
Can this be the catalyst of a resurgence? They look to hit this site fast once again, at least bait out the wall. And an early TP back, counter Nightfalls against each other. But the fact is, at least for now, the attack has got the site. The plant yet to come in, though.
They're biding their time.
Oh,
nice shot by Mini. Straight through the smoke with the finger guns. Kiko and Mata, all that remains for NRG, and it's a very late flank that Mata's attempting, but he's blast packed up and over. They were too far away to hear it. He is hot on their heels, but they check it. They check it just in time. Spider singling, and it's Mini.
Come back, Ara, come back, Ara.
Almost an impossibility, as solid as Kiko has been. His kryptonite of Beepo is alive on the other side, and with 2 more to take down alongside his nemesis, and 4 HP left. There's no choice left. It is time to run for the hills, to flee the site, and give another round to Gentlemates. They are getting there slowly, but surely, making their way back into this game.
I'll be honest, at 6-1 down, I thought they were about to go out with a whimper. Like, I thought this was going to be a game that we go, hey, map 1 and 2 fairly close, each side winning their opponent's map choice.
क्या crazy setup है भाई,
Why
ये देखो,
they have trophies in their cabinet, and why mates are yet to get there. But these last couple of rounds, being the hero, and then going for that more direct hit once again, calling the bluff of their opposition, even running through while having a Nightfall hitting them. And now that economy that was built up over a set of rounds is starting to diminish. Even still though, there is still a purchase on the board.
3 rounds in it for NRG, a Viper's Pit to work around. You see that rotation from Scuba towards this side, a lot of presence being put here. Feels like mates are trying to bait out at least the utility. At least get rid of.
Doesn't.
Well, Brock is put down. That door, the position of the spike, it looks like will swing open. The B site would be the ultimate target, and it is wide open. This rotation has been dragged in, and with no wall here, they are just walking through that space.
Well, that's the cue. That's the moment they know they've lost the site. That's where Starzo started running as well. They
भाई मार्टिन कहाँ पहुँच गया?
I love it from mates. They put themselves with a backstab, a perfect backstab, in fact. Martin taking space, but they've got to be careful. They can't forget about the way towards the broken door. Starzo caught as well. Brock has managed to put this into advantage. This is problematic now. Nowhere really for them to hold on to ground. Mini's done well. Re-aggressing was important. Scuba watching that flank was ready for it, and now they look at the advantages. It's down to Prox to try and clutch, and he cannot. A good round in terms of the push and pull of the map, but ultimately NRG are the ones to fight back into that site.
They're so patient in playing for that retake. The Viper's Pit making it awkward. Even though they lost position behind them, it gave Scuba the spot to play inside of. It meant the players on site are worried about somebody walking through that. And as they are, Mata's able to backstab like that, while Mini is causing all these issues in the back lines. Problem was, there was no real front line for their squad. There was no safe place to fight from. They got on the site, and then they looked a little bit lost. For NRG, 7-3 on the board, a big lead for them, and a chance here to make it even better as mates invest almost everything into this round immediately. Mini's going to be picked off. Mata, not even the only one taking that fight. Ethan was there as well.
17 kills. There's no doubt who the difference maker has been in this map so far, but I think for mates, they're going to have nightmares about this man. Patient stuff from NRG, using the boombot, clearing out tree, making sure any of the danger is gone, and even the spams from Ethan are an inherent danger. Now the showstopper is still available, but it's finding a spot to use.
Oh, the game has not started yet.
When you're already so far behind.
एक बंदा 26 HP.
There's not many more rounds left to go for For Martin, it seems like it's worthwhile, and it might be. That scuba down and the numbers put to even. Time still ticking. Not quite putting the pressure on NRG just yet, but those picks most certainly do. 2 men standing, and the credit's low for a lot of these defenders. It's time to run. A save called as gentlemen.
Uh-oh. The game has not begun yet.
Talked about him as the sort of top players of this entire tournament. It was him and LaRock that were leading the way at the start of the day. He's definitely still going to be up there at the end of the day, win or lose, but he hadn't really left his mark on this map just yet. But these couple of picks, Starzo as well, have put them in a good position, especially from such a hefty disadvantage in that round. It was looking like even a showstopper might have been too much of a gamble, but they needed rounds desperately, and they found them. You mentioned it, the economy of NRG is not in the greatest of places. But even still, an 8-4 is definitely possible, and that's uncomfortable for Beepo. It forces them into an attack side. Aggressive play, and they've caught Brock just as he pops his ult.
Well, Mini gave half his health to go through those thorns. Tanked the ultimate as well with the shot to the face, the sight falling, and an opportunity. Nate's look to push this time. They're not going to sit back like before, but the problem is Showstopper's hunting them down. Mini's been caught. Still, with some players close, but it looks like Martin is going to start falling back. Mates are going to allow them through that choke point. They just need a pick to slow them down, but instead it's NRG finding that momentum. Steaming forward, Starzo won't catch them on the cross, and Martin's down to 20. It has to be Starzo. And the weaker weapons from NRG, they're enough to get the job done.
A really impressive half. There were moments that it looked like Mates might just build up some momentum, but 4 is all they are able to muster.
Switching sides.
And of course, you're going to highlight Marder, 19 and 9, but it's safe to say him, Ethan, Scuba, all having a stellar half. But the fact is, they're going to need to see a massive response from the Mates in the next half if they're going to have any chance of surviving in this tournament and keeping their key safe.
Yeah, this has been a challenge for the Mates so far. They've got the crowd by their side. They've got them singing along in tandem, but it hasn't been enough. But you know what? They're not alone. I heard there's some NRG fans in the house with Lou.
Et j'ai l'honneur d'être accompagné de Ravi, qui est un fan japonais de NRG. Donc je vous demanderai s'il vous plaît du respect, puisqu'il a fait le voyage pour venir soutenir NRG. Et il n'y en a pas beaucoup des fans NRG ici. Ravi, 今日はありがとうございます。フランスに来て NRG を応援してくれて本当に嬉しいです。そしてなんで日本から NRG を応援しているんですか？
もともと自分バロラントでオーディンの武器が好きで NRG のブロッカーオーディンがとても弱いのでそれで NRG を応援してます。
すごく面白いです。Donc première question, pourquoi est-ce que tu soutiens NRG depuis le Japon? Qu'est-ce qui t'a fait les supporter? Et ben en fait, je suis un grand joueur de Odin et j'ai découvert Brock avec la Odin, c'est ce qui m'a fait le supporter. The reason why I'm supporting NRG is because I'm a big Odin player and I discovered NRG playing Odin and I started following them. And ここで会長のファン域はどう思いますか？なんかジェントルメイツのファンとかそのパリはどう思いますか？
とてもすごい。
Hello guys, last game, last 3 games actually for the day.
Is what everyone is chasing, but all the meanwhile, teams are still trying to qualify for the top 15 mark. You're trying to get into those finals where we get match points, so there's a lot to play for right now.
It certainly is indeed. Remember, top 14 straight through to
I'm sorry
match
guys.
point finals for everybody else.
दोपहर में stream किया, अभी stream कर रहे.
And have the opportunity to make the match point finals, but unfortunately, the real story here is who is going home. 6 teams will be eliminated today at the end of these 3 games, and the place it's all going to take place is Storm Point.
And the one team that is in that bottom 6 right now that is on the tip of everyone's tongues, Aurora. Can they do
लो भाई कौन बोल रहा था 2 आइसक्रीम का एक मेरी भी आ गई
prioritize this as their POI draft? Expect them to put points on the board here, but will it be enough?
Well, they've got an option to rotate nice and quickly from Cito, one of the most central POIs that is available here on Storm Point. So if they can't make the most of this, they've got to look themselves in the mirror, and they've really only got themselves to blame. JDG have started to come to life. It's been the story of some of the big teams coming back to life today, Dan, in this day of group play. The question is, can Aurora do the same, or are they going to be the first casualty?
A lot of the teams we thought were dead in the water have been able to have that one game to just put them in the comfort zone. Aurora need the same. One win here, suddenly it changes everything. It changes the narrative. It changes their confidence. Now, in terms of where we're going for zone, we're heading up to the northeast. Great news for the likes of Vision, PXX, and For Fun Esports, who can just be able to transition pretty quickly into this one. And then composition-wise, Mark, we are seeing a lot of Gibraltar. And for good reason, Gibby is going to be very important in this one. But what that does allow is Valkyrie going into match 5.
It certainly does indeed. Now, one thing to keep an eye on here is with the zone, Lightning Rod is going to be very, very busy very, very early. Looking at where the finish could be, though, potentially on that hillside, actually between Stormcatcher and Elrod is where we could end up. So a lot of options for teams to play if they can get there early, but if you're arriving late, you are going to be relying on that Gibraltar-Newcastle combination to give you that cover to play.
Yeah, still 14 Valkyries, but not enough to get banned, which means she will be available for match 5. So expect to see a lot of skyward dives going into that last circle, or at least the second to last circle. For now, some of those teams who are further away can prioritize on looting and making sure they can get those evos up a little bit as well. But then you've got the early movers, the likes of JDG, the likes of For Fun, Vision, Zeta Division also moving very fast from Zoo Station as well.
Well, it would be a little bit of a Cinderella story if Pirates managed to come back from the position they started the day in rock bottom, but they've got some work to do, and they've started off pretty well. 24 points from the 3 games. Confidence certainly on the up, because after yesterday's performance, it probably was about as low as you could get. But for Team Liquid, it's been a quiet start in this series as well. Now, they've done the majority of the work, but remember, even if you qualify for that match point finals in that top 14, where you place is going to affect your POI draft position. So they need to find some points here to give them the best POI draft to make sure they're comfortable in those finals.
Yeah, currently Liquid sitting in 4th in the overalls, which would be a pretty good position for the POI draft, but they have GG and AG Global both breathing down their necks, and maybe an outsider of Zeddy. There is a possibility that Liquid could drop as low as 7th after these games, and yeah, okay, you're still in a relatively good spot in terms of your POI draft, but not as good as being in the top 3, top 4.
AG, quite the way to go here. I think they've recognized that with where the zone is, they're
Legacy
the
knock.
best of prio to it. So just taking time to make sure that Evos are as high as they can be on those shields, making sure the attachments are as juicy as they can be on those guns as well, before they try and force their way forward. Enter Force 36 with the team who are entering into the wall just ahead of them.
अरे भाई चाहिए होगा लेगेसी को भाई.
And then outside of the zone here, Trinity and Aurora taking a look at each other, and what an impactful fight this could be.
Effect was down, but has been picked back up. It was something I wanted to bring a little bit of an attention to as well. Effect throughout Split 1 was incredible. He was oftentimes bringing this team through, slaying out, being the top fragger on the team, and in the lobby at times. He has not found that same kind of consistency at this LAN yet. Is there too much pressure on his shoulders, and how is he going to deal with this pressure?
Well, it's an interesting composition that they're running.
Pressure तो हर team पे भाई.
Sparrow and Fuse. So when we talk about that zone and how open it can be, not really a lot of options for any legend cover from the abilities that are available for Aurora. So it's going to have to be brute force the way that they work their way into this zone. Hasn't started off great for them, like you mentioned. Already Effect was down, but he's been brought back up. And outside of the zone, Trinity still holding them on that high ground. So Aurora might have to think about just wrapping down to the south here.
The thing is, the Aurora of old, the Aurora we saw through the split, would happily take that fight, but they're a little bit worried now because they don't have that much time left with only 3 matches available. Anyway, PXX having to bubble here. JDG are going to be on the other side of this.
Yeah, a couple of bubbles going down. I think everyone should be safe, knowing the third party is awaiting.
Minus 66, minus 22, and knock.
And even with PXX losing a player thanks to the triple take here of Blasts, you'd have to be a brave man and a brave team to want to push onto this if you're either JDG or GG giving up your spot.
Blast trying to hit the toes there with the triple take, just letting the rest of the teams know that GG are certainly present and in that area. It has been a slower series for Gaming Gladiators. As I was mentioning, they're in 5th at the moment in the
X
overall.
देखिए
They
बताओ
also
नहीं
have a chance to push themselves up a little bit further for that POI draft. But JDG, first place in the series right now, started in the bottom 6 before we got into this. And they've secured their spot in the survival stage. How far can they go? I'm not sure they're going to be able to have enough to get all the way to match point finals, but it's not impossible. If they were to get a couple more wins.
Well, AG Global and Enter Force 36.
कोई heavy tweet आया क्या?
To be a little bit too close for comfort, and I think we're about to get this engagement that we thought we might get a few moments ago. EBO's going to go down. AG are forced to drop. And Jizzle will get that knock. However, the mother load from the fuse of Yanya is going to make sure that that gets evened up. Obi wants this though. He drops in with a massive. He gets absolutely deleted.
टेंशन का भेज देखो.
No Valkyrie to escape from here, so he's got to try and win this 1v1. Drops behind Niesel, jumps back up into the skies.
Brilliant.
But he's got to try and deny this res.
He dropped down just to initially deny the res, but he felt like he was at a little bit of a disadvantage. Now the bubbles come up. This is going to be so tough, but he re-engages once more.
Yeah, that's the re-knock coming in, so it's still a 1v1. Knockdown shields being played with. Sinap uses the missile swarm, but he's not connecting with
Nice,
he's just connecting with knockdowns, but the big shots, they're the ones that count! And it's going to be AG who win it. The clutch coming in from Niazul.
And Enter Force 36, a team who is very much at risk and vulnerable down towards the bottom of the leaderboards. They needed that fight. They're on 68 points, only 5 points ahead from those chasing teams who are in the bottom 6. So they're going to have to sit, wait, and hope some of those teams below them get eliminated thereafter because they're the first team to go.
S8UL, excuse me, just moving out the front of command center at the moment, trying to work their way uphill towards where this zone is going to be going. Relove are in front of them. Grabbing that Evo Harvester means that it's going to be a little bit more comfortable for them to do because they've got the purple perks available now thanks to those armors being leveled up. Having that triple Gibby ult is going to be very, very important here for Jesco.
A few of these teams now just taking their time with this rotation. They don't need to rush. They know they are going to be beaten to a lot of the prioritized areas. On your way just to gain that extra level.
एक मिनट let me finish this and मैं उसके बाद देखता हूँ 2
a little
मिनट.
bit more comfortable when you do arrive to that zone later on. S8UL just need to be aware that there could be a team in the area, so they're just scouting things out at the moment as we check back in with the Pirates. You said it, it would be quite something if they were able to find their way out of these elimination places. Not impossible. There is so many points still available here with 3 matches to be played.
S8UL did just go back into command center momentarily to hit the ring console. Shot. Gibby's still a big boy, even though he can move. Still a lot to hit.
4 people watching, guys. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe.
S8UL actually try and take the high ground off of Dinos here. Around the spider cave outside of command center. In the meantime, Igarashi is down on his back. As Fafa Fifth with this longbow. He's giving them some openings here. However, it looks like Igarashi will be brought back to his feet. Newcastle does his job. And Trinity will continue on their rotate.
Trinity, who are in dead last at the moment, they can't afford to be going out early in these games. They need to have what feels like a miracle at this point if they are going to find themselves into that survival stage tomorrow. We check back in now with AG, who are starting to approach onto GG here.
Well, Yagara's just blew blasts up. Yanya had already taken down Zane. And poor old Lufka is hanging behind the office desk trying to survive.
Gaming Gladiators bahar.
GG will be eliminated. This is happening all the way over in Zeus Station, deep into zone. And with Niazul brought back to his feet, they will have the opportunity to hit a survey beacon here, AG, and possibly hit the balloon that is over here on the north side of Zeus Station to catapult themselves into zone. However, it's very busy, and even that survey beacon, even though it'll tell them where everyone is,
Load भी कर ले.
doesn't look like there's many places for them to go.
AG Global now send themselves up into 3rd in the overalls, just with those 3 kills. That's how close it is in the top 5 of the overalls at the moment. And again, they have a fantastic chance to potentially finish 2nd in the overalls, really, when you look at it, competing with S8UL to try and prioritize themselves in that POI draft. If you're unaware of what the POI draft is, by the way, if you're a newer viewer, the teams get to draft which POI they will be dropping at, which can be such an important factor to the ALGS.
Certainly can. Zipline Mafia, by the way, the perfect picture of the name of the team in that moment. All of them just in unison hitting that zip line to get up to the north. A little bit of a replay of some long bow shots coming in earlier. It didn't mean too much.
Let's check that place out.
As they did get that res momentarily. That's pretty much the most action we've actually seen outside of the POV of AG Global, who have been looking to take fights. Speaking of which, here is another fight, and hey, surprise, surprise, who's on the end of it? It's AG Global. They're running at everyone on this northern side.
And this is one of our top teams against one of our bottom teams. Is Trinity out in 18th place. It's more doom and gloom for them. They are getting closer and closer to elimination from the whole tournament right now. As AG just keep powering through. Speaking of elimination,
ये तो पुराने भाई. But ठीक है मैं बाद में देख लूँगा, ढूंढ लूँगा जो तुम बोल रहे हो. अभी गेम देखते हैं.
This is not good for Aurora fans. Oirean's trying to
Aurora के लग चुके हैं.
And even though they can get one up potentially here, Effect is just a death box.
And maybe you can steal in.
रिंग के बाहर है और रिंग के बाहर डैमेज बहुत ज्यादा पड़ रहा है. टिकट वाला पेज वाइट वाला देखता हूँ. फोन पे देख लेता हूँ. गेम देख रहे हैं बाकी वो गेम देखने देते हैं.
Do get eliminated in that kill feed.
S8UL just getting punished in a corner here, having to play behind the mobile shield of the Newcastle. And coming behind them is going to be AG Global. They are confident, let me tell you that. They've already got a bunch of kills in this game. And if they see an opportunity to get some shots onto S8UL, then Jesco's going to have to hope that he can get that bubble down just at the right time.
Well, AG, it's
who's next?
On to the next one for them. Team Liquid seem to be in their sights, but also now this is just a good rotation as they start to get closer towards the northern side of this zone as well. And they're happy to take any fights, full of confidence right now. By the way, all the meanwhile, Aurora have been able to wrap round to the southern side as a duo, relocating. Don't know if they're going to get much of a chance to get back up to a 3 right now, unless they can find a crafter on their way, which there are crafters. But there are also teams in those areas as well.
So AG not quite safe as yet. What's the next play for?
वो देखा मैंने, but the problem is कि इंडिया में Tencent के गेम्स चलेंगे या नहीं चलेंगे, because PUBG Mobile भी उसी वजह से बैन हुआ था, I was saying. So maybe it can, it can not. देखते हैं जो भी होगा. Till the time we will watch the game. Time आ रही है zipline माफिया को, माफिया गई.
All of a sudden, with 20 seconds left on the zone, Effect is going to rejoin Aurora. They still have so much work to do, but at least they can do it together. While all that was going down, Zipline Mafia were eliminated from the lobby. DCG know where Aurora are, and they just want to hold them out here.
Dog Red just arrived in the
ACR तो अब confirm हो गया ना, देखते हैं.
So going to be 2 teams holding out.
99% तो ये भी confirmation है.
Grabbing the banner and being able to get his full team back up now. So they've at least given themselves a chance. And you might be wondering,
zone right side है, अपन कहाँ है भाई zone में?
One of the best performing EMEA teams that we had during Split 1. Effect, arguably the best fragger in the game, or one of the best fraggers in the game, and at the moment, they are struggling. They are in those eliminations.
Are we eliminated because Ziddy दिख रही है? नहीं, we are not. हम लोग यहाँ हैं. बहुत छोटा है भाई.
Effect is having to squint.
134, 6 and 65 points.
And they are just being peppered, being held down with 50 seconds left.
Maybe not. देखते हैं. 65 points.
Absolute nightmare for Aurora in this game. Team Liquid to the skies though.
10 kills के साथ अगर ये गेम में हम लोग निकाल देते हैं चैंपियन फर्स्ट पोजीशन.
Have the Newcastle as well. That castle wall is going to be planted, I imagine, by both teams where possible if you stay up. Liquid get aggressive, they apply a lot of damage. For fun, desperately need to stabilize, and the gen gets ripped away from them. That's good pressure from Liquid.
ये perfect है रे, मतलब शील्ड से तुम लोग खुद को सर्वाइव भी करवा सकते हो, but न्यूक्स आ रहे हैं वो ध्यान देना होगा. AG Global गायब.
AG Global finally, their run of terror has been ended, and it's going to be by Team Vision who get those kills. And Party coming in though. It's going to be the Pirates.
Vision and Pirates, both in very different positions. Vision are chasing the top 14. Pirates are just trying to stay alive right now. But a huge fight nonetheless. That's if it even happens, as Oirene's just gone down in the kill feed as well.
Sedan bubbles forward.
ओए Aurora भी गई. Aurora टूर्नामेंट से जाने वाली है.
13 squads now remain. And every single step, every single
Aurora is going to go out of the tournament now. Legacy knock.
With just 2 games remaining, becomes more and more important to how these teams' day is going to end.
I mean, every fight matters right now, and as you say, every bullet feels like it's impactful.
डॉगरेट गई. जेडी अच्छा मार रही.
It's about 3 or 4 teams up on this building. You've got Pirates, Team Vision, you've got Neo, and you've got Dinos all on top of each other. And with Zach Mazer down, Carter has a lot of...
Neo, ओए VSN के भी लग गए. VSN भी हिल रही है.
It's all up to you. Jumps back through the void passage, back behind the knockdown, but with just 10 HP, it's not enough to survive.
VSN भी गई.
Will be eliminated, but they are on the cusp of top 14 at the moment. They put points on the board. That's what matters as they chase a position in the match point finals. As now the bombardment start to come down, people starting to use those ultimates just to try and reposition, because you get desperate now. When we move from this next zone, there's no more buildings left available. It's going to be a lot down to those Gibraltars in the bubble just to give you a little bit of space.
DJ Killer threading the needle with that R9, but as you can see, they just can't push at the moment. Someone needs to leave this building, or someone needs to take this fight. There's only 15 seconds left, and look how far they have to go. JDG, they will be eliminated next in the lobby.
JDG गई. जेडी मार रही है, पकड़ के भूत बना रही है.
Best position right now for fun. S8UL and Team Liquid. Zeta Division also in a fantastic spot.
Yeah, for fun's movement over to that eastern side has been huge for them. A massive chance to win.
पकड़ के भूत बना रही है.
Team Liquid. We look though at TIE right now, who are about to go up into the sky, assess the lay of the land, and they're going to notice that a lot of these positions they would have liked to have played have been taken already.
They're going to land right between For Fun and Team Liquid. Zeddy landing in a few moments' time as well. TLNM Pirates also up in the skies. A lot of teams taking the aerial route. Now, Neo, having done it latest, have the opportunity to see if there's a third party that they can land upon. Instead, it's going to have to be the low ground here. And they're going to have to get that bubble down nice and quickly. Look at the damage that they've taken, though. Liquid are holding strong on this high ground.
Liquid reluctant to commit, though. They're just going to wait for this bubble to pass, and they should be able to delete Neo relatively easily. They're just worried about...
DCG गई.
Breach charge goes in. Free Love just been eliminated in the meantime. Neo are out next. Liquid pick up a couple of kills there. Panic will take home 2. Zero finds another one.
31 points पे S8UL पहुंच गई है.
As well. Look at the bubbles though, just popping up all over this zone. It's a great indication of how little cover there is to play.
I feel like I'm in a theme park with the amount of bubbles available right now, but you've just got to look at 8 teams, make it 7 as Dinos get eliminated. TIE go down.
जेस्को ने मारा. जेस्को ने 2-3 मार दिए भाई. लेगेसी ने भी 1 मारा. जेस्को 1v3 कर गया.
As Team Liquid still will hold the high ground here at the moment, but they are being pressured by 2.
38 हो गए. We just need 61 more.
In this series, they've played the best Apex they have all tournament long, and now they're involved in the end game. One man who could change a team's fortune, though, is on your screen. Jelly has an infinite ammo Kraber, and one bullet changes maybe just the complete flow of this end game if he can connect.
खा गए भाई.
From Team Liquid and the latest assist from Zero. That is his 1,000th career assist in the ALGS. Quite a big milestone to pass.
Legacy's position really important here for S8UL. He is closest to where this zone is going to end, and in the safest spot, and they are trained.
लेगेसी को एक तरीके से मैं बोलता हूँ पीक ही नहीं करना चाहिए, बैठ जाना चाहिए.
One team taking up into the skies there, didn't quite catch who that was. It's going to be Team Liquid, actually with a late Valkyrie here to see where everyone's positioned.
दोनों ने डैमेज खाया थोड़ा थोड़ा. शील्ड लगा रहे. शील्ड लगाना भी इम्पोर्टेंट है राइट नाउ.
The barest of all margins. We've got 6 Gibraltars all available. It's going to be 6 bubbles, and actually we might see a few more skyward dives because everyone knows once these bubbles go down, you have no cover.
The Pirates are known
टॉप 6 तो आ ही गए. जेटा का एक नॉक, फॉरफन ने एक नॉक कर दिया. जेटा का एक और गया. जेडी का भी एक गया. जीरो ने फॉरफन के 2 गिरा दिए. भाई खा गया फॉरफन को. जीरो.
And Nate can go up into the sky, avoids all the gunfire, and actually there's a position to play here. You can go unknown. No, you can't. S8UL, they do spot him.
पर जेस्को नॉक. जेस्को ने मारा एक को. जेटा.
Liquid have had this plan from the very start. It's been calculated and methodical, and now they just need to finish it off.
It's 3 versus 1 versus 1.
लिक्विड के बंदे मारे जा रहे.
Legacy, the solo alive for S8UL, and Mike the last player here to try and deny the clear win.
हवा में घूम रहे. लिक्विड ने निकाल लिया. लेगेसी ने बहुत ट्राई किया. लेगेसी ने बहुत ज्यादा ट्राई किया भाई.
There is an outside chance that they could catch Elite Esports. They would probably need 2 wins from this point, but again, not impossible.
Well, Zero looks like he's ready for a break. But if
स्ट्रीम अटका ये लोग का. ओए 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 ओए. भाई मेरी स्ट्रीम अटकी गया.
We gain so much information over the rest of the lobby. We can reassess, and in that meantime, think of all the damage that's been done to some of the other teams as well.
Overall standings.
For so many teams that needed it in various different ways, whether they're looking to try and survive or whether they're looking to try and find a place in those match point finals.
And we're going to have to talk about it. It's an awkward conversation. It's a difficult conversation. But Aurora again fall. They really did not look comfortable. They tried to wrap on that eastern side, on the hillside towards the zone.
S8UL 4 kills. #2. 13 points.
And they fall early in the lobby again. My question to you.
13 points.
Have they left it too late here?
लिक्विड थर्ड हो गए यार. सेकंड हो गई. 49. लिक्विड अच्छा खेल रही है.
They're not finding the points they would usually find. This is not a composition we would have seen in split.
कोई बात नहीं. यहाँ देखते हैं तब तक.
Take knowing the showstopper was on its way. They've avoided it towards the waterway as now the plant looks to come through, but mates are all
दिलदानी मारा भाई. एडे सिद्धू मूसेवाला भाई की को ने एक मार दिया.
running down. They've looked for a fight in the spawn. Caught Brox off guard. Left Beepo isolated now from the rest of the squad.
ब्रॉक ने एक मारा. ब्रॉक got traded. Mara gets one more. It's a 2v4 and Scuba wrapping around.
They have no idea that Scuba is on his way to win the round single-handedly. Starzo, they shouldn't
Staxo.
of losing this off time alone.
डीलडानी नाड़ा. मारा भाई. हो गया इधर एमेट का मैप खत्म.
Overtime guaranteed and a chance to crush the key of the hometown heroes with one more round.
Said earlier in the matchup, very early I would say by Marder, that the crowd can be silenced. I'll be honest, other than the faint mate's chance, you could hear a pin drop in here for just a moment. And look at what they have to fight for survival. 3 rifles, 2 pistols, and 2 rounds needed. Otherwise NRG go marching on into the semi-finals, crush the hearts and the key of the mates. and still have a chance to come out with an EWC title. That is one hell of a start as well. Beepo gone.
Shadows not the player you want to see fall. The A site open for business now as a free plant can be found. NRG, one man to the good. A few weapons ahead, and with Mini falling on the flank, it looks like the bright dawn earlier on, all the hope that Mates had, it has been drained from this series as dawn turns to a very dark dust for Gentlemates. NRG, send them home. They might already be here, but they won't be stepping back on that stage anymore. Their time in the limelight has come to an end for Gentlemates. They hear the crowd roar one last time, but it is to bid them farewell as NRG take this series and take their key to the Crusher.
Fact is, we knew coming in today that that crowd would have to be a factor if Mates were going to topple this NRG side. And the fact is, in the first map, it looked like they had them dead to rights, losing both pistols, fighting through. But then NRG show their caliber once again. A team that has been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and now head their way into the semi-finals. There is no one to doubt this squad for any reason already. London seeming more like a blip. And although Mates fought tooth and nail, it was the resilience of this squad that showed why they are such a tough team to take down. Marder definitely stealing the limelight in that final map. An insane performance overall. And for the Mates, unfortunately, this is the end of their journey. Anyway, let's head over to the interview with Scuba.
It is the end of the journey for Gentlemates, Tom. You are right. Despite that, the crowd are still cheering on their players here, but you can still sense there is a somber mood. And that is because NRG have booked their spot in the semi-finals here at EWC. I'm here with Scuba. Scuba, the Gentlemates fans are famous around the world for their incredible support. Waves of sound coming over the stage. How did you handle that?
It's always a blessing to play in such a like energetic crowd. I love it so much. I was hearing some boos, but I get it. You know, Carmine Core, Gentlemates, it happens.
Yeah.
Like, but it's all love. It's super fun.
He knows the drill already, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just briefly, we talk about their support, but you do have fans who've traveled from across the world to support you. What's your message to your fans here?
Thank you guys so much. It means the world to us, honestly. We had a bad performance in London, but we came out here, we're trying to redeem ourselves.
Ouais, les premiers mots du coup, forcément de Scuba. Il a entendu les fans Gentlemates qui font énormément de bruit. Comment est-ce qu'il a géré ça? Et bien tout simplement, ça fait pas partie du sport. Je connais la communauté Gentlemates, la communauté Carmine Corp. On entend les booms mais on prend rien mal. Ça fait partie aussi du jeu. Et moi je remercie les fans qui se sont déplacés pour nous forcément. And you guys have transitioned from being an underdog team to being the team with a target on their back. So I want to know, how have you guys...
Has the game begun? The answer is still no, but it is going to begin soon.
The 11th or 12th seeds coming into this from America, so they were right there.
मस्त अबे games तो अच्छे जा रहे हैं.
You know, Deeds is second place at last EWC, and for him to come here, be the only one from that roster still here, I'm sure there's a lot of experience that he can bring to them, and it's really cool to see them do that well. And now they're pushing to get into that top 14. They're really close to that cutoff, so we'll be watching that as we go forward.
Hopefully, Deeds is also saying, guys, I know elimination is on the mind, but when you get second, there's a lot of good stuff that happens to your bank account when you are at EWC. So keeping the sights set on the prize, hopefully Deeds is helping the boys stay connected. All right, Snipe, thanks so much for the interview. And chat, we've got more games coming up. These two games, they're going to determine officially who stays and who goes home. So do not go anywhere. More Apex coming up.
And that Apex is going to continue right now as we head towards the next match on Stormpoint. Only 2 more games to go to save your tournament, or maybe solidify a position in tomorrow's or the grand finals, while match point finals which is coming up, of course, on the final day here at EWC. Now, let's talk about cutoffs, Dan. Let's talk about points. This is where you do your best work, and I'm very excited for you to tell us exactly what number is the cutoff right now.
The cutoff is currently 67, and I'm sure the Zoomers will be excited for that one, but Kirasami Havoc, they find themselves in that spot. They're safe right now, but if one more team passes them, they will be eliminated from the competition as well, just as Heretics were, because they've already played all of their games. But one thing that does favor them, they are 10 points clear of any team that is currently playing at the moment. If we were to see Dog Red, Pirates, Aurora, and Trinity all fail for the next 2 games, Kirasami could still somehow scrape through.
So there's still a chance, is what you're saying.
There's always a chance.
I can feel the Zoomers bouncing, by the way, when you said
that. We've had like 6 of them do 6 sevens during media day, so
interested to see what compositions are going to be run now, because we always see things get a little bit spicy when it comes to comps. Teams down at the bottom, interesting compositions being put together to try and be a little bit more aggressive from some teams, because they know, quite simply, they have to get points, and the best way to do that, the only way for them to do that, is to pick up some team wipes. We really are going to see some interesting things going together when it comes to comps, when it comes to team fights and aggression in this game number 5.
And a key factor to this compositions, there is no Gibraltar available. Gibraltar is banned after the pick rate that we saw in match 4. It does still mean Valkyrie is still available to take you up into the skies, but it's suddenly very difficult when you're landing if you don't have that bubble available. So the pick rate for Valkyrie will go down significantly here, but still expect lots of Newcastle available, maybe some Rampart to come in as a little bit of a replacement for Gibby.
No more cover for my brothers. We'll have to see who kind of
1:30 बजे से guys.
Newcastle might be able to do so. Watson starting to come to the fore as well. A little bit of Rampart, a little bit of Alta, and Fuse is also in the lobby. Pathfinder also. Great. There's a lot of different compositions, as we say, as we go into this game number 5, the penultimate game of the group stages. And we're starting off with Team Liquid, the winners of game number 4.
Oh, I love it when this happens, by the way. Newcastle is the most picked legend. So going into match 6, no Gibby, no Newcastle, which changes everything. Now, bang, there you go, Aurora. There is your chance to stay alive in this tournament. It is a great zone close to Sito Station. You can prioritize your movement fast. That being said, I am double checking to see whether they have a ring console, because that does change things here. But are they going for a different composition? Yes, they are. It doesn't matter. They're going for Sparrow, Bangalore, and Alta here with their comp. So expect Aurora to be looking for fights rather so than hunkering down.
Yeah, interesting to see how they're actually going to play this one. It's a zone where they had Prio, but they don't know that they had Prio. So for Team Liquid, their reward for winning the previous game is Barometer being their POI, with the zone is coming right towards them. And we saw them making the most of some of those Barometer zones yesterday. Now Aurora. Is there something special in the waters of Storm Point for them to take advantage of here?
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fans hoping so, especially those here in the region of EMEA in Europe. Some very popular players. And Aurora, this is an interesting decision. They are hunting Trinity. Trinity are the lowest team we have in the competition right now. Bottom of the barrel leaderboards. And Aurora were potentially looking to see whether they could pick up some free KP here. The other side is Dog Red, who are another team who are down in the bottom 6. So there is a clear game plan here for Aurora.
Over to Jurassic, center of Storm Point for fun. 34 points on the board for them, so in 5th place in this particular series. And look at the kill feed. Effect is down, Effect is finished. And with that, have Aurora's chances also been finished? They can head to Down Beast. There is a crafter there. Then have to go to Mill, then have to go all the way to Down Beast to get the res. Oh, Aurora up against it, man.
And this is what I was saying when you asked me after match 4. They're not playing a composition to play the game in ways that we've seen them play the game. Sure, they didn't even have a ring console at Sito in the end, but typically they would have just moved and looked to, you know, play the game a little bit more normally. But they've gone for something left field, really, out of left field. They've tried to push teams that are a little bit weaker that they might think, and they've been punished for it because both teams sandwiched them in the end. They will be able to get him back up, but they're going to be late arrivals. So expect to see Aurora chasing down some teams as we check in now with Neo, who are currently being chased by AG Global, and we know that AG Global are relentless.
अभी तक गेम में कुछ हुआ नहीं है ना?
AG Global thinking, hey, this has gone pretty well for us previously. This is the shot from Rohai.
Kadinga.
Boom. 97. And the flesh starts to see it. Trinity looking for a Newcastle. What away! That hurts. Pretty sure the Newcastle did manage to hit that survey beacon though from Dogred over at Bean. Zone's getting very busy though down. A lot of teams already there.
Yeah, both Trinity and Dogred in desperate need of points as well. They probably wouldn't really want to fight each other. That being said, if you do win that engagement, you get one step closer. And Dogred said, yeah, we don't really fancy it. We've got enough information from our survey beacon.
In unison, they're going up. Oh, DCG!
Guy DCG.
It's for fun. You pick up those KP.
For fun on the hunt. They're trying to secure themselves in the match point finals, and even though they're a little bit off, again, still
ZD नीचे for fun ऊपर वही compound के अंदर.
That is not unachievable in 2 matches by any means. On the other side for Relove DCG, they're only 13 points ahead of the teams that are chasing them. So again, it is another difficult position to find yourself in going into that match 6, because those 13 points can definitely be cut down here.
Rohai been a nuisance with this charge rifle. Just give a little check in on where Aurora are, by the way. AG Global are over on the northern side of Checkpoint, which is where Aurora are trying to rotate to hit a ring console. This is what we're seeing right now. Now, do AG know they're there? Well, they will now, because the Sparrow Arrow is going to let them know that somebody's close.
Aurora looking to see if they can pick up anything here. Here's AG Global that they're chasing, and honestly, with how Aurora have been playing at the moment, they're not going to be confident about a fight, let alone are we going to be confident in watching them take said fight. And it almost just feels like they need one. And you know, I've been speaking a lot about Effect, right? But Hyark, a LAN champion, bear in mind. Potentially being eliminated in the group stages here at the ALGS Split 1 playoffs at EWC 2026.
We'll have to see if they can pull something out of the bag here. TIE down the low ground of Barometer though. They're going to have the Watson fences up. Hold on to the Gen for now. Interesting to see the position that Team Liquid did take, actually. Dropping over here at Barometer. They're playing this most western hut that you can see at the top of the zip line. So they obviously believe that the zone...
Guys, maybe this is my last game of the day.
Where they played so successfully yesterday. Neo on the hunt here. This is a long way away from where the zone is going to be going. And it's AG on the other side of it. And even though you feel a bit stronger on that zip line, when everybody's shooting at you, even the zip line can't save you.
These could be some important kills for Neo as well. They're another one of these teams that are down towards the bottom of the leaderboards, outside of said elimination places right now, but certainly catchable. And they want to try and create as much distance as possible, not just in this current situation, but also in the leaderboards as well. Yanya looks like he's going to be the player to just hold them off a little bit and allow the third to run away and escape. But Neo will be more than happy. An extra KP they'll be delighted about.
They'll take it. That's another point on the board. You can't take that one away from them. And Izil did manage to get out on the Pathfinder, which is always a good thing.
Question for you. Are you usually the player that puts your life on the line to allow your teammate to escape, or are you the one escaping, Mark?
I've already left.
I don't think that's actually true. You're the first to go down. I'm
only
the one who's
after I killed 2.
Kill 2, where are you? Well, Vision, they are very close, by the way, to knocking Virtus Pro down into the survival stage. One more point for Vision, and they will find themselves currently in the top 40.
It's A Division who are inside of the POI to their south, and they're just holding this hillside for the moment. Ogred have tried to move into that hut and were very quickly eliminated by a combination of For Fun, Liquid and ZD Esports. That was not a comfortable landing. That's what happens when Gibby is banned.
And that's great news for those teams who are outside those elimination places. It is one of our teams in the bottom 6, eliminated, not getting any points. And Dog Red still find themselves 10 points shy of that cutoff now. They have one more game to try and find enough points to stay alive.
Zeta now moving up, and they've actually taken the height away from where Team Vision were. Lotus going to get caught out here, and he's going to get taken down. Suzuki and a combination of Yuka will do that damage, but here comes Zach Mazer. Great shots with that alternator, the double tap going crazy. But there's the movement from Yuka. He's absolutely lost him, and Yuka.
ये तो कंफर्म है इनिशियल स्टेज पे टीम S8UL फाइट नहीं करती. जेटा गायब. टीम लिक्विड का 0 नॉक. जेस को मार रहा है बॉयज.
But now Dino's arrived. Carter, the priority is escaping. See if you can get away. Yes, you've banked those points. Yes, you're into the top 14, but you still want to go that one step further.
Zach has both hands up in the air. It's almost a cinema pose from him, but I don't think it is cinema. If Carter gets taken down, he's going to try desperately to hit this cannon to escape, and he just about manages to do so. But where is this landing? I tell you what, it looks like it's safe. Neo are playing the other side of the fence line in front of them. There is a crafter just up this hill, and Carter might have done enough to survive here for Vision.
क्या ही reposition किया है भाई बंदे ने.
Be able to be caught with the position they find themselves in that top 14. Of course, I'll leave that for the admins, but they are pretty safe.
Where is S8UL? S8UL is holding out a great spot actually.
Unlimit now would be the next at risk, and then after that would be Alliance. But I'm thinking that maybe Alliance might be okay at 108, but we will wait and see as we take a look at that zone and where it's going to be heading. Aurora have been able to find themselves on that western side, Mark. I mean, it's not a bad area, and if you look at their route in, it is Trinity that is waiting there for them.
Yeah, zone pool's going to be interesting. If it keeps going towards Team Liquid and that western side, and of course they made that zone call off of the fact they dropped a barometer, then Aurora might be on the quieter side of this zone. Now Carter's deep in zone right now.
17 team, 49 players.
And from one cannon to the next, Carter is a human cannonball.
I mean, amazing really when you look at some of the positions these teams find themselves in and how every single fight,
what is going on
matters so much as we're having a fight in zone between Neo and AG Global.
This is zone 3, by the way, so this hurts everybody involved. Neo are deep inside a zone holding AG Global. AG Global are thinking, what's going on here then? After getting that reset after we saw initially, it was only Jaguares who managed to get away. And now with the zip line going down, you have to wonder if it'll be the second time we see this fight ending in the same way.
It's just a silly fight to take, really, isn't it?
Very silly is how I would describe it. Yeah, you're quite right.
I mean, less to lose for AG Global and Neo. They're probably just thinking, look, we just need to put points on the board. So they're also just very eager to get involved in some fights as well, thinking that maybe they won't get the chance.
Forfun ने ZD के players को down किया. Forfun ने PXX के players को down किया.
Checking with Zeddy Esports, and Dupe is brought back to his feet. Jelly from behind the gen. That's Jelly's gen. Don't go near it.
You know, Zeddy have been going quietly about their business throughout this tournament. There is nothing quiet about this fight at the moment. They are more than happy to be aggressive in looks of this KP, but they've walked into a Watson fence.
Never did that. Gonna send out the kickstart drone here to try and survive. TXX trying to move in alongside Dinos here. It's a little bit of a mess at the bottom of Barometer. As XD has to slam the castle wall down just to try and get Peter back to his feet. There's Void Nexuses. There's guns with no.
ओए डाइनो. कुछ चीजें भाई लोग बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग हो जा रही है.
In the result of it all, will anyone actually benefit from it? Because they may all just be scooped up by the last remaining team that comes on in to join these. As Dino, they port back. Maybe they can go back up.
Is everyone going to survive here?
Everyone may survive, but JDG not surviving. Neo are now getting aggressive onto them. They want the kills.
AG Global have been eliminated in the meantime. Neo now just down to 1. Naughty. Caught off guard. Shubi. Almost going to be taken down. Oh my, 1v2. but not enough to survive as Vision move in.
ZD गई, JD गई, WGR गई.
It's moved all the way to the northern side of Barometer. Aurora now have a chance.
Neo do get kills on the board though. And even though Neo had previously left the ring to try and go kill Vision, then got killed by Vision, what's important was they got those 3 KP, which puts them into 30th position. Just creates that gap that I was talking about from the chasing teams. Will give them a lot more security going into match 6. Now, there's the preview of the zone you were talking about. We head up northeast here. Pirates
are
in
got a chance.
one of those buildings. Pirates, who currently sit in 36th position on 58 points, 9 points away from that cutoff.
And Paris will pop off if the Pirates manage to survive today after where they started off.
I mean, we have to give Paris something to cheer about today, right? Nothing else happening later.
You are a brave, brave man. A braver man than I.
Well, Aurora, as we check back in with their journey at the moment, it's been a quiet one in this game, but most importantly, they are still alive, which again leaves a chance. They're on the northwestern side as S8UL, 43 points right now in this series, and they are flying. They're in 3rd place in the overalls as well. What a tournament it's been for S8UL.
Well, I say Aurora have a chance. They still have a lot to do. Now, they are close to zone. A lot of the teams that are on the Barrow side will take each other down. There are some Valkyrie ults that will be being hit right now to try and get closer to zone. But what do Aurora do from this position? For Fun Esports, just been eliminated in the meantime, as now 8 teams will be in the spectate screen watching what takes place in these final moments. Round 4 is closing, 30 seconds left on it. TIE will fall next.
TIE go down, but they're in a relatively safe position at the moment as now Aurora start to move a little bit closer towards zone. They have found a rock that they can play around here.
I think they're trying to pinch Zipline Mafia with Team Vision. 2 teams staring at them.
That's a lot of damage.
Get these KP, but it's Vision who are picking them up. The points aren't going to Aurora. Unless they can get one, but they don't even get that. I think actually, excuse me, Oirain did get 1 point. But now he's got to retreat back to his teammate with no smokes available. He's got to do it the old-fashioned way.
Even though they didn't get the kills, just 1 as you mentioned, I think the important thing was they eliminated a team that is ahead of them. That is a position they could play as they try and continue their rotation. And they are putting more placements on the board as well as we get into the top 10 now. It's 1 extra placement point gained from the previous that they had.
Bro high in his charge rifle, still rattling them off from high ground.
I mean, I love the position for both Trinity and Pirates, by the way. 2 teams in that bottom 6. As E36, they've spotted out the likes of Aurora and Team Vision here, are both a little bit vulnerable with where they currently reside.
Well, this man knows how to win a LAN. Obli on your screen. A huge moment for APAC North when he was able to lift that trophy. Some time it feels ago now. S8UL now moving up as Dinos will be eliminated. And they've got to make their way a little bit closer to zone as that northern pool continues here. GG weak inside of the building, and now the swing comes in from Legacy. Beautiful stuff. GG eliminated. Half the lobby is gone, 8 squads remaining, and now Legacy's got an infinite ammo craver to play with.
It's a race to second in the overalls.
Here comes Aurora.
Between S8UL and Liquid at the moment, as Aurora about to enter a huge fight for their chances.
Well, E36 took a lot of damage, and I think they sense this. They want to try and push. They want to try and flush them away from this position. But you can see in the movement here of Oirain that they are a little bit nervous. They can't overcommit. They know that even if they get kills, if they take damage and it's not clean, then their game could be over.
It's a must-win fight, but E36 are retreating. They're playing zone, and now suddenly, with the castle wall going down...
153 for both the teams. 156 for S8UL.
S8UL look down onto N and force 36 and clear the threat.
Just 33 points away.
Will go down. Effect does make the cross though. They are safe in this corner, but S8UL will be able to look down upon them. But can they stick the res here? Oirain has got close enough to his 2 teammates that they could drop him an armor here if they wanted to, and Oirain will be back in this fight. Aurora survive. And boy, did they need to.
S8UL, they got distracted by Liquid. I think Liquid saved Aurora's life there without even knowing. And Aurora now able to loot up as well off the death boxes of E36.
Team Visions have so much space though. As we jump in with them, everybody else in the lobby is ahead of them in and around that main building. So they can just bide their time. They can wait and walk this in if they need to.
भाई S8UL खेल तो अच्छा रही है, नो डाउट.
Valkyries left in the lobby as well for some skyward dive action if needed.
We are at 156 right now.
5 teams, make it 6 teams on this southern side, by the way. As you mentioned, Vision, they hold the entire north.
I'm speed. 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Zesko low हुआ.
Finals as well. As Zach Mazer's taking a little poke towards Aurora. Oh, and he's pinging as well. He's notifying the rest of the team that there is a vulnerable squad on this right-hand side. It's the last thing Aurora want.
Taking the Void Nexus to join his teammates a little bit closer to the zone, I think, here, Zach, in a few moments' time, and indeed he does. So Vision now as a 3 on the outside of this structure. Now, Aurora, the good news for them is that everyone in that building has to leave, has to take care of each other, and may fall into their sightlines. Now, there's not a lot of KP picked up by Aurora, but from where they were...
टीम लिक्विड ने PXX को मारना चालू किया है. फिर से टीम लिक्विड सेकंड हो गई है. TLNP को मारना चालू कर दिया है. वाह, लिक्विड भी TLNP को मार रही है.
Team Liquid have a difficult push out here, but I love this at the moment. Use that gen in the wall just to give you a little bit of cover. The shield's going to protect them as well.
Panic also. Barely any ammo left in that Prowler, but it might be enough to start the fight.
Sharky गया.
Collapse in behind S8UL. They are going to pick up some of these kills. Beautiful shots coming in from Carter. As Vision 2 control the most.
Zesko गया. Trinity eliminated.
Start to fry. Trinity are gone. Aurora still alive. It's all up to Effecto.
S8UL भी eliminate हो गई.
He's bouncing through the portals. Aurora dead, but it's a top 3. Now over to Visions to clean this up. Liquid have members down.
लास्ट गेम भाई विजन निकाल गई.
Team Vision are going to the match point finals. The question is now, how high up can they get in that POI draft? They're in 4th position in the overalls. They've caught the likes of S8UL and Team Liquid to make this very interesting going into match.
39 points from Team Elite.
Aurora's top 3 puts them 2 points away from that cutoff. Wow. Pirates, their top 5 puts them 7 points.
Heretics तो गायब ही है.
The teams that were down and out.
Heretics का Valorant का सफर खत्म. Heretics का.
Going into match 6.
And with that win, it's the first win of the tournament for Team Vision. And there was a moment in that game, remember, where we saw Zach's hands go up. The cinema moment. Maybe he saw the future. Maybe he saw exactly what was going to happen.
Oh.
In that moment. Let's think about the fact that they were down to a solo.
Interesting guys.
To perform some gymnastics across cannons to keep them in that game. But I think we just got proven to us in Apex Legends, even at this level, if you can stay in the game, you give yourself a chance. Vision win it, Aurora get top 3, who at one point, both those teams looked out of it.
And when your backs are against the wall, quite literally with Aurora, they played it smart, they played it intelligently, they just looked for placement points. They just have to crawl over this finish line. It doesn't matter how they get over it as long as they get those points on the board. But it was Vision who, as you quite rightly mentioned, from just a solo at one point to getting back up and then dominating the zone, manipulating that final circle in whatever they wanted. They were bullying teams on the right, on the left.
क्यों NRG Nitro ने अपना ID भेज दिया क्या?
Last team standing on the north.
So the boys on Team Vision get that win and, like you say, solidify their position in match point finals. They can afford to have a little bit of a feet up moment tomorrow as they watch the Apex Legends continue with teams trying to join them. Team Vision fans feeling very good about it. Why wouldn't you? And that magic number, by the way, that was on that banner there, 67, is still the cutoff point.
It is still the cutoff point. Kirasami Havoc, as it
No way they cleared that corner. Asha, they didn't clear that corner. Okay.
Very, very close indeed. There's those 19 kill points that Vision were able to pick up to make a 31-point game. But it's there in number 3, Aurora. They get 10 points. As it stands, they only need 3 more. But that being said, there are still teams behind them, so they would potentially need even more than that depending on how it goes. But for some of the other teams down in the bottom, the likes of Dog Red, for example, they got eliminated early. DCG got eliminated early. They're still in a dangerous situation as well. But one other story that is developing, For Fun Esports. They find themselves on 101 points, 5 points away from making match point finals as it stands. Bear in mind, at the start of this, For Fun Esports, they were just hoping to get through to the survival stage, and now they have an opportunity to guarantee match point finals.
TLM Pirates, the hometown favorites, have given themselves a chance.
फ्यूमा यूगो द किंग से ही आ रहा है ना, यूगो द किंग को हरा भी तो सकता है वापस.
Will the Aurora Key survive another day here? Man, we always get to the point of the tournament, and it's like I look at the leaderboards, I'm like, how's it one game left? I'm like, how have we got to this point again? Where the stakes are so high, where the tension is so high, we've always got someone who shouldn't be there, who is there.
And honestly,
I just don't know what's going to happen.
How high the points total is to get into that survival stage as well. I think Snipedown was talking about it on the desk, or metaphorical desk. It's just so tight at the moment, the competition here in this tournament. You think back to yesterday's games, actually, even the games we had today in the previous series set, we had 3 teams tied in first place.
Yes.
For goodness sake, that's how close it was. This meta has allowed so many teams to catch up and close that gap with some of the best.
One thing to highlight here is legend bans. Newcastle is the next legend to be banned. Now, Valkyrie is still here, has made it through to Game 6, but the legends that are banned, if you're joining us, Crypto, Seer, Mad Maggie, Gibraltar, and Newcastle. Now, giving Newcastle, we know kind of the staple when we get to the later ends of these series for giving you that cover, but now with the 2 most defensive legends out of the lobby, there's gonna be some guns up big moments. Big team fights won by good aim. And I'm excited to see which teams kind of have the nerve to take them, have the nerve to really push the advantages when they present themselves. Because if you're in an elimination spot right now, the idea of taking a fight is not just taking a fight for the KP now, it's your tournament can be over if the fight does not go your way.
And realistically, there's only one team who has to play some crazy aggressive comp, and that is Trinity. Now, this is the lay of the land. This is the top 10. These 10 teams will be going to match point finals as it stands, and realistically are pretty much guaranteed with Zeta Division 117.
Why couldn't Elite get 1 more point? That's really bugging me, by the way.
Well, maybe Liquid can catch them up and surpass them. You know, if Liquid have a 35-point game, suddenly they're on 200 and they get first place in the POI draft. And S8UL, with the way they're playing at the moment, I wouldn't put it past them to find a 40 bomb. So there is still potential for it to change at the top. But then it starts to get interesting as we move over to the second page. Remember, that cutoff is at 14th position.
That is. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Unlimit hold 14th place at 106. Virtus Pro are now down in the survival stage because they're not playing. They won't be at match point finals. But then we look at For Fun Esports, the only team that's left on that screen who is still playing and chasing at 101. They could push Unlimit down. Now, these are all the teams that are going to be in the survival stage, and there are a couple that are still chasing for that top 14 as well. Most likely, we're going to need to see something absolutely miraculous from them if they are going to find themselves in the match point finals. Not impossible, but down at the bottom,
This is
Neo.
the scary part, right?
74 points for them.
This page is, yeah.
This is where it gets
That's the
disgusting.
cutoff. Like we say, Kirasami Havoc right now, 67 points. 66, 65, 60, 57, 43, 31. We know that Dory and Trinity, unfortunately, are already eliminated from the tournament, but there's still a lot to be decided in this final game of Apex Legends in the group stage. We'll find out what happens in just a few moments' time. We're going to go for a quick break. Match number 6, the final match of the group stage, comes up after this.
We booked Esports World Cup
Ladies and
Giant
gentlemen, we
Wave.
are fast approaching the last game of the group stage. So let's set the stakes, Looty. I'm going to kick things off by saying 4 of the bottom 6 teams who will be eliminated today are currently playing on stage. Only a handful of points required to make it into the survival stage for some of those teams. So this match, it literally is all on the line. We have a few in the bubble, which means coming out of the survival stage into that top bracket, getting into the finals on Saturday. But it's all to play for, Looty.
Et ouais, il l'a dit, mesdames et messieurs, Barney vient de l'expliquer. 4 équipes peuvent tout simplement être éliminées, mais elles peuvent également remonter. Et les Français peuvent le faire. Est-ce que vous y croyez? So I'm gonna ask to everybody, please, ladies and gentlemen, for our last game of this group stage, make some noise! Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do for the clapping, bro.
We're gonna do it one more time. Okay, here we go.
जब कोई चैट में नहीं होता ना
Into our final map of the day. One last time, make some noise! It's all on the line. Let's do this.
लेट्स डू दिस भाई क्या बोलते हो बिना हेडफोन देखे सरों में पता नहीं 3 बार टक 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 आवाज आ रहा है
Going home. Who will be back tomorrow for the survival stage? And who is going to have some hearts broken down? This is it. Storm Point is where we go for one more game and one more chance to save your tournament.
The drops are done. The loot is going to begin. VSN 63, S8UL 56. The things are going good. The things are actually going good. एक आधा चैंपियन यहाँ से निकल गया है ना भाई इस शेड्यूल के लिए मजा था ये VSN स्टार्ट तो कर रही है बढ़िया लूप चल रही है लास्ट गेम ऑफ द ग्रुप स्टेजेस गाइस लास्ट गेम ऑफ द ग्रुप स्टेजेस
Maybe for a little trenches zone down. I know you're a big fan of them. It's your personal favorite.
I do love a trench finish. I don't know why. It's just a little bit down and dirty, isn't it? But maybe perfect for the likes of AG Global and Dinos, as they can take some of those northern positions, which are very difficult to take off of them once they find them. And as a reminder, our 4 teams that are currently in the bottom 6 that are still fighting for their life, if they die, they will be out. Aurora, Pirates, Dog Red, and Trinity. Unless, of course, they put enough points on the board before they go down.
And there's still a very good chance of doing so. It is so close at the bottom. For Trinity, well, their tournament is essentially over. Only 6 points so far from these 5 games, and with Rohai on his back and Zipline Mafia chasing them down,
Zipline एक्चुअली हाँ अब तो ये हो गया ना अब तो धपाधप टीमें जाएगी लास्ट गेम है मोस्ट प्रोबेबली द टीम्स विल गो अहेड पूरा ऑल आउट कि भाई आप क्या ही फर्क पड़ जाएगा 4 लोग देख रहे हो गाइस मेक श्योर टू हिट दैट लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब एक्चुअली अब तो ऑल आउट जाना चाहिए लास्ट गेम है मस्तियां करो चलते रहो ट्रिनिटी तो फाइट करनी चाहिए क्योंकि उनको पॉइंट्स चाहिए तो दे आर आउट ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट एक्चुअली
looking to move up on third party, but they've actually taken a fair bit of damage here. And Dog Red is still very, very
zip. Forfan गई. चालू भी नहीं हुआ फॉरफन गायब. PX एक्स्ट्रा मार दिया.
It is big. It means they will not be progressing to match point finals. They are guaranteed, though, to be in the survival stage tomorrow. But they only needed 5 as a
Trinity भी गायब. क्या फाइट्स चल रही है ना धार 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 धार. WGR भी गायब. भाई क्या हो रहा है? This is one of the fastest game I have witnessed in the Apex Legends, like in this tournament too, at least.
1 point behind the cutoff. 1 point confirmed as well with that kill.
S8UL हाई ग्राउंड पे है. S8UL को अगर यहाँ से फ्रैग्स मिलते हैं, it will be crazy.
Where we're going to find ourselves some Pirates. Another team who have really given it everything today, Dan. A scary moment for them coming into
Dino Future is dead. 17 teams alive. 49 players alive.
It's just, did they leave it too late? They're over a pile on here. They've got S8UL above them. Zeddy Esports also looking at this. I think Pirates recognize that they've got to leave here.
And that's where it becomes interesting as well. It's not as simple for Aurora of just finding that 1 point, because if they found 1 point and died, a team like Pirates, if they found 7, suddenly both teams then would be on a tiebreaker. So Pirates are not that far away. 7th place, 39 points. They have been fantastic in this series. But I think you are quite right. You're going to be kicking yourselves later if you don't qualify, if you don't stay alive.
And the thing is going good.
On day 1 and 2.
So difficult to predict how teams
Zip excuse.
lobby as well, with desperation becoming a factor. Zipline map
Finish करने के लिए क्या उड़ के आ रहे हैं बंदे?
will find 1 KP. As we look at
The things are going haywire in.
Like you mentioned, it means they won't make match point finals. They were very close to doing so, but they are still alive. Now Nate has taken damage. Zidane, he's broken as well, and Nate is down.
Zidane unable to connect with any of those longbow shots as well, so it has to be turning into a retreat. Had he hit a couple, maybe got a knock, you can potentially engage. They do have Skyward Dive available, so they have got their get out of jail free card, of course. And they need to start planning how they get Nate back on his feet to try and find those points they so desperately need to get into that survival stage.
Just looking at crafting opportunities for them. Cito has one, the Mill has one as well, so there are places that they can plan their rotation to get Nate back into the game, but the fact that they're still on white armor is somewhat of a concern. Although this Evo Harvester might help them change that. Over to Dog Red then, back to the Mill, where it seems like a lot of action has taken place. Zipline Mafia are waiting for them.
17 teams, once again 50 players. But it's tough, huh? It's tough. जो नीचे वाली teams है उनके लिए बहुत tough होने वाला है. For example, WGR Neo के लिए. आना तो वैसे भी bottom 6 को avoid करना है ना. Bottom 6 Pirates avoid कर सकती है. Trinity का तो impossible सा है. Dog Red avoid कर सकती है, Pirates avoid कर सकती है. Trinity हो गया, जीजी भाई, Trinity का तो. Pirates को कितना points चाहिए? Pirates को चाहिए 7 points. Dog Red को 8 points. 7-8 points तो निकाल ही सकते हैं.
Over to where the zone is more likely going to be ending though, and you've got E36 and Zeta Division sharing.
Top 14 के लिए 106.
So standoff between the two. And Yuka is
For fun जा सकती है. Dinos जा सकती है. JD Gaming जा सकती है. कोई भी आ सकता है नीचे से भाई. बस वही है, टॉप 3 में हम लोग तो रह जाएंगे. हम तो परफेक्ट टॉप 3 में अपनी पूरी पक्की कर लेंगे.
Would be on to DCG if they can catch them.
DCG, some cheese under this box. Come and get it. Come on. Do they know? They're gonna know now. Kickstart drone goes in. Roy might be the unfortunate one who really does get hurt here. The rat play works perfectly. And those shots with a native from Jelly are pretty good as well.
This could be so detrimental for DCG as well. They are only just outside of those elimination spots, may I add. They do get one on the board though. And the Nexus will be opened. An escape route has been found. And survival is a must here for DCG. Even if they just put a couple of placement points on the board in this game, they just want to stay out of reach of those that are chasing like Aurora and Pirates.
AG Global भी गई. These guys, बहुत फास्ट गेम हो रहा है, बहुत ज्यादा ही फास्ट है. The entertainment level is crazy. The games are going crazy haywire here and there. ZD ने DCG को मार दिया.
Oh no, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. A lot of our elimination teams and those who are closer on the struggle bus right now. Zipline Mafia will take down 2. Zidane knows that their tournament lives are quite literally on his shoulders right now. Thankfully, he is Valkyrie.
Oh, it's only blue. He's going to go up nice and slowly. He's spinning. He's holding his breath. And the zone is also chipping away. Zidane with the hopes of France on his shoulders threads the needle. But on the other side of this choke, S8UL are there. But do they know?
I think so.
57 points in this group actually for S8UL. A और D में जब compete किया तो 57 points अभी तक निकाल चुके हैं लोग भाई. डॉगरेड मारना चालू कर चुकी है टाइगो. टाइगो एलिमिनेट कर दिया डॉगरेड ने वन साइड. Now that's new. क्योंकि डॉगरेड मैं बोल ही रहा था कि डॉगरेड शायद कर सकती है टॉप.
He does have an ALGS, but is he going to get to use it here? He's getting chipped away at again. It's Zipline Mafia once more who are in behind him. If he can survive just on this low ground, S8UL actually might help him out of this situation, looking back at Zipline Mafia. But his heart must be in his mouth right now.
S8UL are going to hear the little tippy taps below them from the Valkyrie of Zidane, but you are completely right. Zipline Mafia, they will probably distract S8UL from Zidane, who somehow, some way, scarpers through and survives.
There's no crafter though. He's going to have to like counter-rotate essentially to get out of this game. We'll take a look back on the rat play that we saw a few moments ago. Zidane's being hunted once again, but he's going to be pretty comfortable with this situation now because it's happened for the majority of the game. He's still alive here, Zidane. Oh, that med kit's going to be big. Means he can spend a little bit more time in zone here. There's an evac, there's a Moby. There's a Phoenix kit down there as well. 85% on the next Valcolt for him, which will get him back to zone. Oh, this is terrifying if you're a Tailend Pirates fan.
You're going deep for a crafter.
Don't miss time a med kit at this point.
Can the Pirates survive? That's where the zone's going to be heading. Dinos are pretty much bang center. Liquid have also set up very successfully as well. As Pirates now have found their crafter. It's literally last chance saloon now here for Zidane and the rest of the squad.
It's not a mirage, it's an oasis. They get the banners, they get the res, and Zidane still, by the way, has Valcolt, so he can get them into zone. Now, Dogred continuing their reign of terror here. It's Duplex who gets caught off guard.
Dogred on the chase. They are now 3 points away from the cutoff. As both Dogred and Pirates are hunting. But they still cannot afford to go down.
14 teams, 41 players. ZD अभी भी डॉगरेड को मार रही है. डॉगरेड ने ZD के प्लेयर को मार दिया. 1 for 1 trade. ZD is also knocked. भाई इतना फास्ट एक्चुअली दिमाग घूम जाता है कभी-कभी. इतनी फास्ट की आदत नहीं है. S8UL पहुंच गई BSN को मारने के लिए. वाह, जैसे हम लोग ग्रुप तो टॉप कर ले एटलीस्ट. S8UL के भी 2 बंदे नॉक है. S8UL बाहर हो गए. JDD
and that means Dogred's tournament is done. Another team guaranteed to be out and another key that will be crushed.
GG versus Zipline Mafia, and it's looking all one-way traffic. Kazak is the last player alive. Still 3 up for GG on the edge of zone here. Where do they go from here, GG? Trying to work their way through this choke down towards zone. They don't realize it, but the buildings are actually free for them to slide down, and that's kind of synonymous and symptomatic of the...
We ended at 161. That's good actually.
Lots of fights on edge, lots of teams desperate for points. Means there's space in zone, 11 squads remaining.
Setting up shop or setting up ship. The Pirates are still alive.
11 squads left, 29 players left. It's matter of just 5 to 6 more minutes. जहाँ 6 टीमें इस टूर्नामेंट से बाहर हो जाएगी और 14 ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में पहुंच जाएगी.
Zipline Mafia, JD Gaming will also go down off the back of it. But do you know who this benefits? Aurora, who have been quietly going about their business. They have quietly snuck their way into a safe and surviving spot right now. And it can only be taken away
8 squads, 22 players.
with them being eliminated, it doesn't matter anymore.
PXX का एक नॉक है, Zeta के तीनों अलाइव, E36 के तीनों अलाइव, VSN का एक ही अलाइव है. Liquid is also playing good.
In our group stages, they will continue in this tournament and have a chance to make it tomorrow through to the match point finals. Boy, it's a bit shaky though. Anyway, back to the game. Now it's about placements. Now it's about who makes match point finals. Now it's about POI
Luka
and finishing strong. Zeta division on your
PXX के players को गायब कर रहा है.
and I am down to watch it.
And realistically, the only team with outside chance of making match point finals here in this lobby is Dinos. They would need a win though. And from their position, it is definitely achievable. As GG, even though it's not been the best of series for them, it's still been a well-performing series. They find themselves in 5th in the overalls, and again, they are chasing that top leading pack for a better POI position in their draft.
30 seconds left on this zone. It's going to be Dinos on the outside. Team Vision's just been eliminated. Last player alive was Lota. He's going to be taken down. Aurora now looking to take this fight. And all of a sudden it looks like the vibes have just started to pick up. Iyaka is down. Team Liquid continuing to do what they've done so well so far in this tournament, which is win fights, which is play close, and Sykes will close out another.
भाई टीम लिक्विड मार रही है और ऑरोरा गायब हो गई. PXX भी मार रही. PXX भी गायब. 5 टीम्स 14 प्लेयर्स. मोस्ट प्रोबेबली ये टीम लिक्विड का गेम है. Zeta निकाल सकती है, but टीम लिक्विड is highly favorable to get this game.
They played it smart. They allowed all the teams below them to get eliminated first.
5 टीम्स 13 प्लेयर्स. PXX डायनो के फ्यूचर को भी मार दिया. जे फ्यूचर को मतलब नॉट फ्यूचर बट जे फ्यूचर. फाइन.
Our next key focus here in this final circle.
And Dino's only a solo. So it's looking like the odds
5 teams, 13 players, zone closing in 46 seconds, 44 seconds.
And then suddenly our attention turns to actually who's going to win this series in particular. Team Liquid 8 points shy of Vision. Just to take some confidence into the match point finals because they're already there. They're already secure to be playing on
26,
You've already said, Mark, you get a nice
24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9,
GG again pushed right now. Yuka with the Kraber.
6, 5,
Pings away
4,
at the head of
3,
Sykes.
2, 1.
Zero says I need to get back through this Nexus now, but Yuka is
Zone closing.
now know that Yuka has the Kraber.
5 teams, 12 players, zone getting closer and closer and closer. बाहर निकलो भाई. लूफ्का वापस गया. The things here and there are going crazily crazy.
It's allowed a couple of teams to start to move a little bit closer. One of those being Gaming Gladiators, or at least what remains of Gaming Gladiators anyway. Dino's still alive, by the way, even if it's a solo.
ओए यार शॉट मिस कर गया. यहाँ डायनो भी एलिमिनेट हो गई. 4 टीम्स 12 प्लेयर्स मतलब क्या सब 3 मैन है. 1 2 3 यहाँ सब मोस्टली 3 मैन ही है. सब 3 मैन है. खाली जीजी के 2 नॉक है. जीजी गायब. E36 के भी 2 एक फिनिश खत्म. E36 भी गया. टीम लिक्विड का 1 नॉक है. जेटा को कैपिटलाइज कर सकती है. जेटा एक्चुअली कैपिटलाइज कर सकती है. टीम लिक्विड का एक ही बचा है. अगर इनको इन्फो है तो भाई साहब दे ज्वाइन. बहुत अच्छा खेले भाई. रिफ्रेश मारो फट से। गेम 6 के पॉइंट्स अभी अपडेट नहीं हुए क्या, या हो गए? मोस्टली हो जाने चाहिए। ओवरऑल स्टैंडिंग्स अभी तक अपडेट हो गई होगी। हाँ, हम 4th पहुंच गए, ठीक है। एक भी खेलने मिला, 10वां पोजीशन था। ये वाले गेम में ज्यादा मैटर भी नहीं कर रहे थे, लेकिन फिर भी ओवरऑल स्टैंडिंग्स में ACTUL #3, Liquid #2. It's fine. We were okay. 160, 173, 199, मतलब 4th से लेके बाकी सारी टीम्स बहुत ज्यादा क्लोज रही है। बॉटम 6 67, हेरेटिक्स गई, किलिशियम हैवॉक गई, डॉगरेड गई, TLN पायरेट्स गई, ट्रिनिटी गई और डोरी गई। A very big congratulations to top 14 teams: Virtus Pro, Unlimit, Alliance, Nemesis, Sentinels, Falcons, Zeta, ZD. इंडिया की दोनों टीम्स आर क्वालिफाइड फॉर द ग्रैंड फाइनल्स। उसका मतलब कल नो ALGS फॉर अस। हम कल ALGS नहीं करने वाले हैं। बालों की वाट लग चुकी है, बाल वापस सही करने पड़ेंगे। तब तक के लिए अब मैं आप लोगों को मिलूंगा later. Till then, bye bye. Take care. See ya. I'll be seeing you soon. It's 12:37 guys. जाके सो जाओ। अपन ने आज बहुत स्ट्रीम किया है। कल का जो स्केड्यूल है बेसिकली हम आपको इंस्टाग्राम पे अपडेट कर देंगे। Till then, bye bye. Take care. See ya. Love you.